Hi and welcome to the We Needy Roads podcast. And David, the appropriate question is, when the hell are they?
Is that okay? No, you know what? I immediately went to Drax. I went to Drax's. Who's Gamora? Why is Gamora? That's the one.
Except
I didn't
then
get
you
Back
realise...
to the Future out of that until.
I mean, it's only the fact that I've done it in every episode that we've ever done.
Yeah,
and I started with Back to the Future quote, and you immediately went to Guardians of the Galaxy, not Back to the Future. Amazing. I mean, I don't think you get to do a joke now anyway, David, after that. I don't. Do you have one?
I don't know. No.
Still retired. Still retired.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? I'm waiting for the right one. I need a bit of inspiration to hit me.
I mean, I could hit you, but I mean, we're doing this remotely, so probably not. Anyway, apologies as always for David's lack of preparedness for jokes, which, you know, I'm sure he's going to bring one back one day and be like, ha!
I'll hit you up with one soon. You know what, actually,
wait.
Natasha said to me the other day, it was nice, because it's nice, she keeps complimenting me about, like, my arse. She looked, I walked past and she was like, oh, what an arse. And I was just like, thanks, man, that's lovely, thank you. I've really appreciated that.
Oh, no. You know, they always say you shouldn't have dead air on a podcast, but you deserve that 5 seconds.
Hey, you've said that twice now. That's been your
mocking
response
silence
twice to my jokes.
And it hasn't changed. And neither of your jokes. They're still terrible. So, today is going to be our Mahusive 2022 movie preview episode. Basically, what we're saying is, if we don't mention it here, it's probably not worth knowing about. Actually, no, that's a lie, as there are always surprises out there. And but in this episode, we're going to let you know what movies we think you should be keeping an eye out for this year. They're going to be graded with our excitement levels out of 5, and we're going to work our way through each film on our list. And then at the end, we're going to give you our straight head-to-head top 10s. So, let's talk the films that we think you should see in 2022.
What to watch?
How many pages does your script go on for?
It's about 2 sections of a notes pad on my phone.
And some of the big films coming out in 2022, and I'm not actually sure this one did come out in 2022. I think it came out in December, but as I only had the chance to see it this past week, it's going to go in, David, and it is the new Paul Thomas Anderson film, Liquorice Pizza. And do you know what? Anytime there's a new Paul Thomas Anderson film, it's a cinematic event. Even though the rest of the films we will be talking about we haven't actually seen, these first couple I have actually seen because I've been to the cinema a couple of times. Woohoo, cinemas are back. I mean, they were, but, you know, December wasn't looking good. So I think after Spider-Man, we hadn't been for a while, and I just was like, right, this week I went Friday night to see Liquorice Pizza, and I'm going tomorrow night to see Nightmare Alley. So Del Toro and Paul Thomas Anderson, 3 days apart. Can't get better than that. Anyway, Liquorice Pizza is a nostalgia-infused coming-of-age love story between legendary actor Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, Cooper Hoffman, making his film debut, and Alana Haim from the band Haim, also making her debut. And Hoffman plays a kid called Gary Valentine, a child actor coming to the end of his days as a child actor, and he's desperately looking for his next kind of get-rich scheme and what he's going to be doing with life. And despite being only 15, he keeps trying to pick up 25-year-old Alana Kane. Obviously, it was easier for them to not change her first name, I'm guessing, with his wild and crazy schemes. And it also stars Sean Penn as a fading movie star, and Bradley Cooper in probably one of the cameos of the year, playing a fictionalised version of a famed, out-of-control Hollywood producer called John Peters. It's also got an amazing 70s soundtrack, and as Scorsese would say, David, this is cinema. I loved it. Beforehand, I would have given this 3 out of 5 on a interest scale.
Excitement level, yeah.
But after seeing it, it's a 5 out of 5, already going on my long list of films of the year.
Oh, wow. How many Neils? Give it a Neil rating.
5 Neils out of 5.
5.
100%.
I thought we were doing out of 10. Wasn't it a 10?
Okay, then
so
it's
10 Neils out of 10.
No.
I was like, how come it's 5 Neils but not 10 Neils? How does that work?
Okay, we'll go 10 Neils. Okay, so it's 10 Neils out of 10. Yeah, it's, as a film, for what it is and what it's trying to do, it is objectively perfect. The only con I could see some people having with it is the fact that isn't it a bit creepy that you've got a 25-year-old girl interested in a 15-year-old boy, and if you switch that round the other way, there's absolutely no way the film would have got made. And she does kind of address it. It's even in the trailer. She's like, "Do you think it's a bit weird that I hang around with this kid and his mates?" And her sister's like, "Eh." So it's kind of.
I think either way around, you flip that. It doesn't really matter. It's still a bit peculiar. It's a bit odd.
Yeah. But I mean, they do address it in the film, and And it's such a good ride, like watching it, and like you're like, where is this film going next? There's like a whole sequence that seems about 20 minutes long where they go to install a waterbed at someone's house, and you're like, where is this going?
Has it got some like coming of age sexual exploration kind of vibes to it, with her being slightly older, slightly more experienced, and him being 15-year-old? But I'm assuming he's been a 15-year-old bloke who's as a child actor, he might have had a lot of attention.
I mean, I don't want to give too much away about the plot. It's kind of one of these. Yeah, I don't want to say more about it.
Fair enough. But
it's
you're
that
very
good.
excited, which is enough to make me go and see it.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Very, very good film. So, Liquorice Pizza. So, on your excitement scale, David, what would you give it now?
Well, I was excited for Liquorice Pizza, but not like crazy. It was like a 2. But after you've
I was a 3.
Thrown away, blown away you are by it.
Yeah.
It's gone up there. I need to see it, but I'm a bit. At the moment, it's a bit funny with the whole cinema thing, and Natasha's a bit funny with it, and I have to go alone. And you always go at like stupid times, so I need to just.
That's because I want to go when it's not full of people.
I need to brave the cinema on my own. I can be brave and do it by myself.
Yeah, it's fun, David.
Films.
You completely get immersed in it. You're not have people chatting to you and like, oh, nudging you and going, oh, what about that bit? You know, it's like. It's just, and the reason I go later on is because there were 6 people there for Liquorice Pizza. 6 of us, man.
That's quite sad for like, yeah.
And that was on a Friday night, but I know it's a Paul Thomas Anderson film in Dover, right? It's not going to have that many people going to it, is it?
How many screenings has it even been given? Like how many?
2.
Wow,
It's on twice a day.
Okay.
And it's about 2 hours 13 minutes. So but I loved it, man. I was like, that was one of the few films I've seen in recent memory where I forgot I was in the cinema. I was in the film. I was like, you know, you're like living every moment of the characters on screen because it's that well done. But I mean, Paul Thomas Anderson, he is a master, man. You know, look, you know, you think Magnolia, you think There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights,
There
Punch
Will
Drunk
Be
Love,
one of my favourite films.
Phantom Thread. You know, well, I mean, if it's one of your favourite films, mate, you have to see it. For me, it's kind of got this vibe of a bit of Richard Linklater as well. It's got a bit of a Before Sunrise kind of thing to it. The conversations they have are so natural, and it's just, you know, you got this supremely confident, cocky 15-year-old and this 25-year-old girl who's kind of like trying to find her place in what she's doing, and it's how she kind of gets drawn into his world. And it's just really well done, man. Can't recommend it enough. So great first film for the year to see in the cinema. Except it wasn't the first film I saw in the cinema this year, David. I completely forgot because last week I saw Scream 5.
Yeah, I'm really jealous
Scream.
that I haven't seen it. Honestly, it makes me a little bit sick that I haven't seen Scream yet.
And this is my second film on our list of this year of things to look out for. And Scream 5, or just Scream, because apparently putting 5 after it people can't remember, or you know. Whatever. Anyway, it is directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, who directed the great horror comedy Ready or Not a couple of years ago, starring Samara Weaving.
Yeah, which was fucking awesome, Ready or Not.
I mean, my excitement level for another Scream film originally was like, don't do it. Like, stuff's moved on too much, mobile phones, people don't call, they text, so, you know.
Well, that was kind of all done in the fourth
Scream 4.
Yeah, where everyone was just like, you know, everything's live streamed now. You can't do it like this, you gotta live stream it. That was my impression of the guy.
You've watched Scream 4 again recently because it's dropped on Netflix, hasn't it?
No, I haven't. No, I just remember that. I haven't seen it in a while.
I watched it a little while ago, and I was like, yeah, it's very up to current still. I mean, it's only 11 years old, I think. So I was kind of like, do we even need another Scream?
And Emma Roberts in it, right?
You know.
Oh yeah, no, Emma Roberts.
That's it.
Spoilers.
But
and
no,
I was
Alison
a big fan of Emma Roberts at the time. I always had a bit of a crush on her.
See, for me, you had Alison Brie, who after Community was just like, yes, I will watch anything she's in.
You know, fair enough. She was, you know what? No, they are beautiful. Anyway, sorry, we are objection. Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, I was wondering, like, after, like, literally what we just said, like, after 4, was it any point to 5? And 4, obviously, was Wes Craven again as well. So, and different director taking on the material. I was like, but I would have said my excitement level before I knew who was directing it was going to be a 1. Then when I found out the guys behind Ready or Not were doing it, it rose to a 3 because I still had big reservations. And now I've said it, David. So again, I'm not going to give away any spoilers at all. But I would just say, yeah, they do a very good job. They
I would just say, yeah, that was a film. Yeah.
No. It's better than that. You've got Jack Quaid from The Boys. Huey from The Boys is in it, and he's brilliant. He's a lot of fun in it. The young cast they've got in it are very good, and the older cast don't overshadow as much. They really take their time establishing the new cast in it with the two main sisters. They do a lot of twists that you don't see coming that haven't occurred in Scream films before, which is really good.
So what twists that you don't see coming?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
okay, interesting. That's nice. That's nice to know.
Yeah, there's some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff like right from the very start. I mean, after the brilliant opening of Scream 4, I was like, well, how are they going to do this with, how are they going to do
I'm
this
assuming
with
the start is
Scream 5?
the very beginning of the film is what you see in the trailer with the woman that's like,
yeah,
your doors are
in the
now
house.
locked. Is that the very beginning of the film? Yeah, like
Yeah,
literally
exactly.
the same as Scream 1 with Dan, oh my god, I forgot her name.
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore.
Drew
Thank
Barrymore.
You. Thank you. Sorry, I
Terrible.
had my girl scream there. Everyone got to witness that.
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to sample that and make it into a song. My only thing is, I wasn't so sold on the reveal of the killer or
I don't
killers.
want to know. Don't, cause just even implying that there was two there is
that's why I
enough of
said
a spoiler.
No, because it's not though, because there was two in the original. So if I
There
said,
was two
it's
in-
like
there's
the
been
original.
two. I'm pretty sure there's been two running throughout. There's always been two.
So that's why I haven't told you whether it's two or one. That's why I said killer or killers.
Yeah, but you're
So you don't
implying
know.
that by even implying two is you're saying that there's two.
No, but a
Yeah,
twist
you
could
are.
be
But
there
no,
being one.
I'm going to go into it knowing there's two now, Neil. You've done it. It's over. You've ruined it. And for everyone that's listening as well, apologies.
I think you should apologise for being a little crybaby, to be fair. What was your excitement level for Scream 5 then, David?
But it was really high because Scream's my favourite film, and I have,
Yep.
and I love Scream
That's
2, and then Scream 3
Yeah.
and 4. Well, so Scream 5, but it's a difficult time, Neil. It's difficult. It's hard to get to go. I need to just go and see it. And when you were going to see it, it was fucking stupid times. And it was on a school night.
That's because that
Early
means there
days,
are no kids there. Admittedly, he wasn't 18, so you wouldn't have had me.
I'm an adult now. I've got to
Okay.
think of like when I wake up in the mornings and how tired I'm going to be for work the next day. It's really depressing.
Okay, well, enough about your depressing life and troubles trying to adult. How many excitement
But
Davids do you give it out of 5?
I was a 5.
So it's a 5 out of 5 for Scream 5, is what you're saying. Right, and moving on to our next film. And David, the moon is not what it seems.
Yes.
It's Moonfall.
This film looks ridiculously stupid.
And I can't wait for it. I cannot wait. It has Samuel Tarly trying to save us from the moon. It's directed by Roland Emmerich of Independence Day and just generally blowing things up fame. And like you said, this looks absolutely super cheesy, but in all the right ways. This film knows it's a massive ball of cheese.
I don't know. I
Cheese.
disagree with all the right ways. Like, when you're watching you just kind of crease because you're like, and I feel like it's going to be one of those films that's going to try and be too serious and then also cheesy, and it's just it's not going to land with people. I see this flopping big time.
It could, but I don't say big time.
I think
it
it flopping big time. You know why? Because it doesn't have the star appeal.
I see you flopping big. It's got Samuel Tarly and Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry.
Exactly.
And,
where's the star appeal? Then?
Donald Sutherland. It's Samuel Tarly.
You need with a film like this, you need star appeal. Look at every single apocalyptic event film.
Look, they're in the trailer. You've got Samuel Tarly in the shuttle, and he's taking a picture of Earth from his mobile
film
phone.
Doesn't flop, Neil, I will buy you something. Ooh. I don't know what. I'll work it out. I'm going to leave that open just in case it doesn't flop, and I have to buy you something expensive.
What is your definition of it flopping? Let's set a monetary value.
Not making. So
not making back its budget.
No. What was its budget?
I don't know. So that's fair because I don't know.
Not making back its budget would be one, but not making, let's say, just like if it makes just over its budget, then that's kind of a flop, isn't it? And I can imagine this had quite an expensive budget.
I feel like you're moving backwards. Mate, his films always make money. Even despite bad reviews, they always make a lot of money. Because people like to go to the cinema to see shit getting blown up and the Earth being destroyed. And Roland Emmerich does it better than most people. And also, he liked to tweet. I mentioned about it the other day. So we clearly haven't been bought. Also, you've got Donald Sutherland, who I guess is going to be in it playing the old scientist guy. Because, you need old scientist guys to go, I warned you millions of years ago about it. And also, you've got Michael Pena from Ant-Man in it. And my money right now is that he's going to be the guy who makes the bad Dark Side of the Moon joke. because you know we're going to get it. I mean, this film is the definition of terribly awesome, because it could be terrible, but it also could be awesome. And it could probably be both
I'm
at the
happy
same
you're
time.
excited for it, but
It's not just me, man. Like, lots of people are excited about it. Because
I don't know
it's just
why.
cheese.
There's nothing
it's
I've seen
spectacle.
about it. Nothing I've seen about it makes me think, oh yeah, I really want to watch this film.
The moon is hollow, and it might kill us all.
So?
I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 on the excitement scale, David.
1.
I want. Shame, David. Shame.
1. If you know what, a 1 is probably me not even really watching it unless everyone says it's amazing and you need to.
Do you know what? Even if it's pants, I'm going to tell you it's amazing just to make you watch it. Because that's how vindictive I can be. Right, so from the moon, David, we are going to go to Egypt.
Oh, okay.
And a death on the Nile.
Oh, Agatha Christie.
And Kenneth Branagh, that was a toastism, directs his second and much delayed adaptation of the classic Agatha Christie character, Poirot. Poirot? He's the dude with the moustache. He makes his return. He's the detective.
I know the one, yeah. It's no, it's not Pyro. It's Poirot.
I can't pronounce it. You can't pronounce it either.
You know what? What is it? French? I'm not.
Belgium. He's the Belgian detective with a
Okay.
moustache. Anyway, it's got an all-star cast, including Gal Gadot, which
This guy's
my
so famous as well, and neither of us can say his name. Oh,
I know it's terrible, but hey, we didn't say we were. If we were doing the pod in a different language, then obviously that'd be better.
but we should
No,
just
it'd be
know
worse.
his name because he's one of those famous characters.
It's Poirot. I just can't pronounce it.
Is it
I'm looking
Poirot?
at-
That doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right because I'm not saying it right, but people know who we're on about. He's a Belgian dude with a moustache, and he's a detective.
The main guy from an Agatha Christie novels.
And he gets everyone together at the end of the film and goes, "It's not you. It's not you. It's not you. You're the murderer."
It
And
might
they're like,
be
"Oh, you got me."
Poirot.
And
I don't know.
well, I don't think Poirot. Yeah, see, you're thinking now. Anyway, it's got an all-star cast, including Gal Gadot, and unfortunately, my autocorrect has put it as Gal Gadget. Which isn't great. Emma Mackey from Sex Education is going to be in the film, which is good because she's very good. So it'll be funny to see her as like the non-kind of gothy character. You got Rose Leslie in it. You got Letitia Wright. You got Russell Brand, French and Saunders. But David, the most interesting appearance of the film and problematic part of the film is Arnie Hammer, who, as we well know, has been cancelled pretty much for some interesting texts that came out and stuff about him that we wrote and repeat here, mainly because I can't remember what they said about him. But essentially, he didn't come off too well in a lot of stuff last year. And the big problem they've got is he's supposed to be playing Godot's character's husband and was due to be a major part of the film. However, if you've seen the latest trailer to the film, he's not in it. They literally... So, I mean, how can they re-edit the film?
Just cut him from the
He's
film
absolutely
altogether.
been... I mean, I don't know how you can do it if he's the husband. I mean, I was thinking if he was the one that was killed in it, that'd be okay. Because then I'd be like, that's it.
Oh, good thinking. I guess you could. A lot of cinema goers are probably just going to be like, not even know it anyway.
No, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But so they'll probably just edit his roll down to the bare minimum they can. But still, this film should be quite a modest success because it will definitely appeal to the older audience. Both my parents went to see the last film. What was the first Kenneth Murder on the Orient Express?
Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah.
I was
Which was. I thought it was enjoyable. It was like, it was one of them where you're just like, nothing really crazily exciting about it, but or groundbreaking or even the adaptation. But it's just nice to go on a story that you've watched a million times before and just to see it reimagined.
I just hope it doesn't get butchered in the edit, removing as much army as they can. However, I am hoping to see like Emma Mackey or Rose Leslie quietly steal the film from the so-called bigger names like Godot. I just think they're better actresses, to be fair. Death on the Nile. How many? I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 on my enthusiasm scale.
I'm about 2.
A 2, okay.
Yeah, I'm a 2.
Next up, we're going from the Nile to The Lost City. And this is directed by filmmaking brothers Aaron and Adam Nee. Now, this film looks like it's going to be a throwback to the 80s style action-adventure romantic comedy. So think Romance in the Stone, and it's starring Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum in the leads, with support from Brad Pitt and Daniel Radcliffe, who's clearly going to be the villain, because, he's not Brad Pitt or Channing Tatum.
I've never actually seen Romancing the Stone. I know what it is because I've actually had the DVD. I think I was given the DVD for free from somewhere.
It's worth a watch, man.
And I've just never watched it.
Back in the 80s, Michael Douglas is kind of doing his Indiana Jones thing, and Kathleen Turner, I think it is, is the actress in it, and they're just really good. It's that kind of they're stuck with each other in the jungle. They hate each other, and then they don't, which but it's done really well, and it looks like this is just like a modern day version of it. What I like is the plot is Bullock plays a reclusive romance novelist on a book tour. Why she's travelling with her cover model of the book, who's played by Tatum, obviously, doesn't make any sense. But they get caught up in a kidnapping attempt in the jungle.
Maybe they're doing like a photo shoot or something.
Well, no, because he's already on the cover of the book, so that wouldn't make any sense.
Maybe it's like a press tour.
Yeah, I literally just said she's on a book tour.
Yeah, there you go. Then why wouldn't you be with the cover star on a press tour?
Because I've never seen a book cover star on a press tour with the author. That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, we're getting off the point. I'm calling it right now that Pitt's character dies horribly comedically at some point, and that Radcliffe is going to be the villain. I mean, Radcliffe's character is called Fairfax, so there's no way he's not the bad guy, and he's English, So this could be a fun summer surprise. I'm saying, David, I'm giving it 3 out of 5 again.
I'll give it a 3 out of 5 as well, because I think everybody needs a little film like this at some point. One not to take too seriously, light-hearted, a bit of fun, a bit of romance. Just switch off, popcorn, enjoy.
And from light-hearted fun to despair, revenge, and violence.
Oh yeah, I know where you're going. I know what.
Avenge father, save mother, kill Fiona. Yes, it's The Northman, directed by the great Robert Eggers. And with those words, we look like we're getting Eggers' Viking revenge saga. And David, this has got to be one of my picks of the year for me. It could be a massive crossover hit like Gladiator, or it could be a much more modest success like last year's Green Knight. Either way, this film has it all going for it. You've got Alexander Skarsgård playing Viking Prince Amleth, who sets out on a mission of revenge against his uncle Fjolnir, played by Dracula himself, Claes Bang, who has also kidnapped his mother, Queen Gudrun, played by Nicole Kidman. Add in Eggers' cast from The Witch with Ralph Ineson, Kate Dickie and Annie Taylor-Joy, and you have a great cast. But why stop there? Why stop there, David? He's also added in William Dafoe, who's currently on the best form of his career. You've also got the Mountain from Game of Thrones, and Ethan Hawke and Bjork. Hawke and Bjork in the same film. I'm tempted just to call it The Adventures of Hawke and Bjork. Now, production was delayed due to COVID, and apparently Skarsgård just kept working out for the next 6 months. And if you see the trailer, he looks like a man-mountain beast. And this film just looks like all kinds of awesome. As the kids say, David, inject it into my veins now. But I mean, yeah, it does. It could either be a massive crossover hit, like Gladiator was, or it could just be. I don't see any way this isn't going to be a well-reviewed film.
I think this will be big. This will be big. I think Robert Eggers has made he's made a reputation for himself at the moment, and it's only growing, glowingly so. Yeah. And this film's going to be massive. So
for me, this is 5 out of 5.
You know what? This could even be a more breakout film for Eggers in more mainstream.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what I mean. That's what I mean by crossover hit. Like all his films have been well reviewed. The Witch, The Lighthouse.
Yeah, they've
all been really well. The critics love them, and they got 5 stars across the board in a lot of them. But they haven't took a lot of money. Like for the money they've cost to make, and I think this is probably the biggest budget of any film he's had before. It just looks amazing. And
it looks insane.
You've got that. Yeah, I really got those Gladiator vibes, man.
Yes.
So,
this is going to be I really want to see this film, but it's going to be really difficult for me to convince my partner to see it because we literally just watched The Lighthouse about 2 or 3 days ago, and she hated it. She did not understand it at all. She didn't get a fucking clue what was going on. So if I tell her, oh man, this amazing film's coming out, it's about Vikings, and it's the guy that directed The Lighthouse, and she's just gonna be like, no. Straight away.
So what you're saying is she wasn't fond of their lobster?
She was not. No. She fucking hated it.
To be fair, mate, the first time I saw The Lighthouse, I was like, I don't get it. I didn't get it. I wasn't a fan. And then I rewatched it 2 more times, and then I loved it. It's not an easy film on the first watch.
That was my second watch as well, and I thought, I was just like, fucking hell, yeah, this is good. It's so smart. It's so well done. It's such small scale. I love it. Anyway, 5 out of 5.
So,
for,
Northman.
Northman.
5 out of 5 here. We agree. 5 out of 5. First time we've agreed on something. Exactly. Yeah. So, next up, we're going to go from The Northman to, another Scandinavian actor, Mads Mikkelsen, who is appearing and replacing Johnny Depp in Fantastic Beasts 3. Now, this is the prequel that no one really wanted to a sequel that no one really wanted to go with a spin-off that was pretty meh in the first place. Now, I've literally tried 3 or 4 times, David, to watch the first Fantastic Beasts movie, and I can't get through it. I hate Eddie Redmayne in it, and I really don't like him as lead character in it. He's bland and just annoying. I know nothing about the plot except Johnny Depp was let go after the second film and replaced by Mads Mikkelsen, which is definitely a step up in casting. But any opinions on the Fantastic Beasts?
Is it? Yeah, okay. Whoa. Is it a step up in casting? I mean, don't get me wrong, Mads Mikkelsen is fucking fantastic actor, and Johnny Depp's a good actor. Yeah. But is changing the main villain of a franchise film, which is what this is trying? You know, this is what it is. Is that? Can you imagine Voldemort just changing actors halfway through Harry Potter?
Well, yeah, it'd be easy because it's a lot of makeup. You know, they could make anyone look up like him.
But I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's in the whole thing with the character, from what I know, and I don't know anything about these films anyway, that his appearance can change slightly anyway. So, is it that big a deal?
I don't know. I'm not a massive Potterhead. I'm not a massive pothead, mate. I don't know what the.
Didn't you say Depp's a good actor, Mikkelsen's a fantastic actor? So if one's good, one's fantastic, then clearly the fantastic one's a step up. That's literally the only thing that made me even put this on the list. I was like, oh, it's Mads Mikkelsen though, so it could be really good. Also, if you get a chance, find his Danish film that came out called Riders of Justice. It's amazing, and it's a Christmas film, but it's a bit late now, so we'll talk about it again next year. So yeah, not too fussed about Fantastic 3 Mads. I'm going to give it 2 out of 5.
Yeah, about 2. I'm struggling to even remember what happened in the second one.
I haven't seen the second one, and I've only saw about half the first one. I was like,
how can you be a 2 out of 5 on this if you haven't seen the second one?
Because I like Mads Mikkelsen.
So are you going to go? But are you going to watch the second one before you go into the third one?
No.
So you're just going to go straight into the third one?
I'm probably not going to watch the third one, but other people who have.
But how can you be excited for it then? How can that be a 2 out of 5? You are contradicting yourself here, Neil.
I'm not.
You make it a 1 right now. You are not excited at all.
Mads Mikkelsen makes any film automatically a 2, in my opinion. But
you're not going to watch it. That doesn't make any sense.
No, but other people may, and this list is to show like a big list of all the big films.
But this is your excitement, not other people's.
Which is why it's only got a 2, because it's got Mikkelsen in it.
Okay, I guess.
Okay. and you, David? I mean, I think we may agree.
Yeah,
on
I said a 2 as well. Yeah, I think a 2.
Yeah, okay.
But I've actually seen the last one. Otherwise, it would have been like a 1.
Was it any good?
It was alright. I think I preferred it to the first one.
Yeah, well, the first one was terrible. It took me 4 attempts, and I still haven't.
It had a nice, like, sort of twisty thing where they're bringing in, like it's more like into the history of Dumbledore, which was quite nice because Dumbledore's got this, mysterious history. And everyone wants to know more and dive into it. And they do that more in the second one. And the third one's going to reveal even more. Peel back that layer of Dumbledore.
Wow, bothered. Okay, so from Fantastic Beasts to The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Now, written by Tom Cormican and Kevin Etten, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, I just like saying that phrase, is either going to be a being John Malkovich style level of genius or completely terrible. But it's most definitely a really madcap original idea. Now, Nicolas Cage is going to wait. Are you ready for this, David? He's going to play Nicolas Cage, a fictionalized version of himself as an unfulfilled actor who is hired by a billionaire superfan and crazed drug dealer, played by Mando himself, Pedro Pascal, to appear at his birthday party. And before you know it, Cage is going to have to play some of his most iconic roles to date to rescue his ex-wife and daughter. Now, this sounds all levels of batshit crazy, but in a good way. Also, Sharon Horgan stars in it as Cage's ex-wife, and Lily Sheen, Kate Beckinsale's daughter, is playing Cage's daughter in it. So, I mean, yeah, Mando and Nick Cage together, Pedro Pascal and the Cage Meister. 4 out of 5 on the excitement scale, man. I can't wait. This again, it's one of these films. It's a big swing for the fences. It could be terrible, or it could be brilliant. You just don't know with a Nicolas Cage film. It could be a 5-star masterpiece like Pig, or it could be a bunch of wank like Prisoners of Ghostland. You don't know. You can watch a trailer and you don't know. You can start watching a film and 20 minutes in you're like, I still don't know.
I was going to say, watching the trailer, I was a big just like, huh? Okay. What is this film? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so what about you?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.
A 3.
I'm going to give it a 3. Just because it is so, it could go either way. It could go either way, And I kind of want to know what way it swings beforehand.
Well, speaking of things swinging the other way, that leads us perfectly onto Top Gun Maverick.
Wow.
I know.
Wow, did
yeah.
you just make a Tom Cruise homosexual joke there?
I mean, South Park did do that 15 years ago and got sued for it. I'm going to sue you.
We can't afford to be sued by Tom Cruise, Neil.
I don't think Tom Cruise is where he exists, which is good. It's not like he's going to turn up outside my house with some e-meters and
everyone
ask me
says
if I'm
he's
the
the most
reincarnation.
lovely of human beings as well.
No, that's a lie. It's Keanu Reeves. You know this.
But everyone says that Tom Cruise is the lovely man as well.
Yeah, but he's a Scientologist, so whatever
What's
Xenu's
wrong
been
with
feeding
that?
him. You know.
He's just got a different belief system to you.
Yeah, he believes. We're not going to get to Scientology. But anyway, Top Gun Maverick. So this is the long-awaited, is it? So let me start again.
Did you just question your own script?
I did. This is the long-awaited. Well, no, I forgot to put a question mark in, and that's why I was like, is it? Is this the long-awaited sequel the world was crying out for? Another Top Gun film that has been lampooned so much for its Katniss and K subtext. How would a sequel even work? I mean, and that's the thing, right? Are they going to go full kitsch and honor the 80s original, or are they going to try and be a serious action drama? Tellingly, the script is written by Erin Kruger, but also Chris McQuarrie. And McQuarrie's one of Cruise's best mates now, and he's directed the last couple of Mission Impossible films, and he's working on the next two with him now. The plot involves Cruise returning and dealing with Miles Teller's Bradley Rooster, the son of Goose from the original. Bradley Rooster. I mean, sweet Jesus, man. Good God. I know Goose was a bad name, so why did they stick with it?
Oh, don't you say anything bad about Goose. You fucking take that back right now.
I mean...
Take it back, Neil.
He called his son... Rooster.
I don't know. Take it back. Neil, Rooster is probably his nickname, like Goose. Like Goose was,
Clearly,
taken after his...
to honour his
take
father.
it fucking back. Take Goose back.
No,
Goose is the best thing about that film, aside from Iceman. You take it back.
No, you can just die on that hill there. You're throwing in...
You've made a lot of people angry. Well, you made me angry.
Yeah, big deal. Throw in Jennifer Connelly as the love interest, because finally age-appropriate love interest for Cruise again. But also, you've got John Hamm, Ed Harris, and Val Kilmer coming back as admirals. So that's good, I guess. Do you know what, mate?
That's good, I guess.
Well, you look at... when I was looking down the IMDb at the cast list, right, it was like John Hamm, Ed Harris, Val Kilmer, and it just said Admiral this, Admiral that. And I was like, okay, so they're just all like sitting around in an office somewhere.
Iceman's... Iceman, man. Iceman.
But Val Kilmer's had real serious health problems, hasn't he? There's a documentary about his health struggles. So I think it's little more than a cameo, man.
I'd watch that, Iceman. I'd rather watch an Iceman spin-off than Top Gun Maverick. But I think, to answer your previous question, I think it's going to be more a serious action drama than an 80s throwback. But with some serious nostalgia thrown in.
And this is the thing, man. It all depends on what the tone of the film's going to be, and if the story's going to focus on Cruise still as the main part of it, or it's going to be the story of the younger cast with Cruise as like the older person who he goes to for advice on that. Being a Tom Cruise film, I have never seen him play second fiddle, so I imagine the focus is still going to be on him. And seeing Rooster go down the same path as his old man and be like, no, don't Rooster. I'm giving. Just having said that, although I see I'm quite down on it, I am giving it a 3 because I know it's Tom Cruise. The action's going to be superb in it. I mean, pretty much it's all sponsored by the US Navy anyway, right? So yeah, cool.
And the trailer it does look pretty cool as well. The trailer, it feels more like you're properly in there with him. So yeah, I'm a 3 out of 5 as well.
Going from a plane to a train. Yes, segue. And it's Bullet Train. And this is directed by David Leitch of John Wick, Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, and Hobbs & Shaw fame. So we know this guy can direct action and explode stuff really well. Now this film sounds like it will have all the action and the explosions as well. It's starring Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Michael Shannon. I mean, dibs on him being the bad guy, right? Brian Tyree Henry, Joey King, Zazie Beetz, and Sandra Bullock. It's the year of the Bullock, man. She's coming back to do fun films again. As a group of assassins on a Japanese bullet train whose assignments all clash with each other's. David, will you shoot this dead or will you bite the bullet?
I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna bite the bullet. I don't. There's nothing to know about it though. Like, what do we actually know about this film aside from what you've literally just said?
Well, it's an action film starring Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Michael Shannon.
That's kind of all you need, isn't it? That's kind of all you need to be excited about something. You don't need a lot.
You put those actors on a train in Japan having to kill each other. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. Yeah. I'm very excited about this. The guy knows how to do action really well. 4 out of 5 on this. Very much looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I'd say I'm a 4 out of 5 as well. I think this will be an excitable film.
Man, we're agreeing way too much today. Nope, can't have that.
Although Hobbs and Shaw, I wasn't about.
I kind of. Do you know what? I hadn't watched the Fast and the Furious films since about 2, and I just went straight into Hobbs and Shaw. I was like, yeah, I like it. I'm not going to go back and watch the Fast and Furious films, but it was good enough to stand on its own, which is what it did. Nope, David. Nope. Which is not me disagreeing with you. It's actually Jordan Peele's next horror film. And what do we know about it? Well, sweet fuck all, actually. Unfortunately, other than it stars Daniel Kaluuya, Kiki Palmer, and Stephen Yeun. The poster is of a dark cloud with a string hanging from it approaching the town. So, nope idea of what this one is about, except that it's a horror.
Jordan Peele's got us out here being afraid of clouds.
Yeah,
making us afraid of clouds. I don't want to look up. I don't want to go out on a nice walk, look up in the sky and be afraid. Jordan, I don't need that in my life.
I think that's going to happen now, though, David, isn't it? The only thing this poster made me think of, right? There's a Joe Hill short story, and it's about a guy who goes skydiving and he lands on a cloud and gets stuck on a cloud, and there's this like weird sentient being on a cloud that like keeps trapping him there and like keeping him alive, and he's trapped on a cloud. But it was good, and I was like, I wonder if it's something along those lines, because that's all I thought of. Jordan Peele so far. Get Out, amazing. Us, was it Us? Us was the second one, wasn't it?
Yeah, Us, yeah.
That was brilliant as well.
Also good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
So a 4 out of 5 on this one. Very much looking forward to this.
I'm a 5 out of 5 because I'm quite a big fan of him.
You're a peeler.
Well, quite a big. Yeah, I am. I do quite like him.
Right.
There's quite a lot of. We're living in a very good age of horror.
Definitely. So next up, The Rock finally makes his introduction to big superhero action franchises in Black Adam. Now this is being directed by Jaime Collet-Serra, and now unfortunately the director has made some very, he's made a shitload of really not very good Liam Neeson films over the last couple of years. But he did strike gold last year working with The Rock and Disney on Jungle Cruise. And it was his work and relationship with Johnson that got him on the big chair for DC's Black Adam. Now, all I know about Black Adam is that he was a villain from the Shazam comics who was only hinted at in the first Shazam film, and he's kind of an anti-hero of sorts. Also, this film is going to bring in the first big screen iteration of the Justice Society of America, not the Justice League. That means you're going to get Hawkman, you're going to get Atom Smasher, Cyclone, and you're going to get Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan. So, great casting there. And, The Rock, he could have picked...
I don't know if that was sarcastic.
No, Pierce Brosnan's great.
Okay. Because the way you said that, it was like, so, great casting there. I was a bit like, is it being sarcastic about that one?
Brosnan as Dr. Fate's awesome casting, man. It's funny, because you've seen these characters portrayed so poorly on TV in, Legends of Tomorrow and so the DC TV shows. So it'd be nice to finally get a big screen version of them. I just, you know what, The Rock is so on it with his film choices that I don't think he's going to pick a superhero one that's going to be pants. And I think everyone forgets Shazam was really good. It was just big as a superhero movie. So,
Shazam was good.
It's underrated.
Shazam's probably one of the best DC superhero films that they've made.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. So hopefully this sets it up to cross over with Shazam 2. And again, I'm a 4 out of 5 on this one, David. My only worry is the director.
Yeah, about a 3. I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, David, don't worry, darling. It's not what I'm saying to you. It's actually the name of Olivia Wilde's second film as a director. So, after the very, very well-received book Smart, this is a psychological thriller starring Florence Pugh, all hail the Pugh, and Harry Styles. And all we know about the...
All hail the Pugh.
All hail the Pugh. Take a Pugh. And all we know about the plot is that it's about an unhappy 50s housewife who discovers a disturbing truth while her loving husband also hides a dark secret. So, as I've said already, Pugh! And also, she's one of the best actresses working anywhere at the minute. And so now we're going to really get to see if Harry Styles can handle a lead role at last. Because, he had a little bit part in, was it Dunkirk?
Yeah, Dunkirk. He was actually really good in Dunkirk. I think he surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, and we know he's been cast in the MCU now as Star Fox, is it? Or Eros?
Eros.
He's got 5 names. And he's got a drunken elf dude who announces him. So, so he's in it. Well, do you know what? He is actually also going out with Olivia Wilde. So, I don't know if there's just a little bit of casting. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to cast my boyfriend in it. Or they got together when they're making a film, which is probably more likely. But, hey, do you know what? There's so many people who anti him because of his background. But, he hasn't actually been a performer for years as a musician right now. He has been concentrating on acting. So, you know what? I'm going to give him a fair chance, David. You know?
Yeah, I don't get the hate, to
Yeah,
be
it's-
honest.
it's
I get,
stupid.
well, I get it. It's more. I think it's more like a jealousy thing because he's, he's he's a good-looking man. He's kind of came into fame through the X Factor, and everyone's sort of hating on him because of his affiliation with One Direction and whatnot.
And
But
then he works
you
with
know what? He's one of these people that's just annoyingly talented.
bastard. Yeah,
And-
no, I've changed my mind.
Yeah,
No,
I know. What a dick.
yeah, I want his face to get burned off in a gardening accident. No, I don't know. That's not true. I'm not novice. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 just because it's a new Pew film. And Olivia Wilde's Booksmart was brilliant as well. That was like a 4 or 5 star film as well. So yeah, very interested to see this one. I think this is one of those films that not a lot of people will be talking about until it comes out and they'll be like, "Wow, have you seen it?" And potentially Oscars. I mean, that would really piss everyone off if he won an Oscar, wouldn't it? As well. So there you go.
I'm going to give it a 2.
Just because you don't know anything about it.
But yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
I'm not. Yeah.
Okay, well, moving on from the 50s and Unhappy Housewives to, well, Halloween Ends, David.
It does. It's not going to.
It's not gonna.
It's
It's
not going to. It's never going to end, Neil. Then as long as it's making money and there's a cow involved, it's going to keep making cash.
I was going to say, why is there a cow in the film? I don't remember a cow. And yes, great analogy. But yes, this is the final part. I say, dodgily, of the trilogy, the new trilogy from David Gordon Green, where hopefully Jamie Lee Curtis actually gets to do something this time, rather than just spend the whole film in a hospital bed reminiscing with a cop. And you know what? Despite some great kills in Halloween Kills and bringing back the original cast, there is a reason these actors were not brought back before, because they were all pretty bad. You know what? The film, again, looking back on it now, I think it was largely terrible in places, and I really have next to no desire to see this film, as Evil quite blatantly did not die that night. This gets a 1 out of 5 from you, David. A 1.
Oh, Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
Oh, you've changed your mind. This script says a 2 out of 5, Neil.
I know. I can change things on the script, David. I can change.
You've changed your mind. Wow. Okay. Does a 1 out of 5 mean you're not going to see it?
No, I'm going to see it because I want to see how it ends.
How can you see a 1 out of 5 for this film that you're going to see, but a 2 out of 5 for a film that you're not going to see?
Because it's my list.
You're all over the place, Neil. Yeah. I'm giving this a 2 out of 5 as well.
Right. So Fantastic Beasts gets a 2 because of the casting of Mads Mikkelsen, and it's a big franchise film. And if it gets good reviews, I might actually go and watch the other ones. Right? This film, I hated the last one. Now I've revised my opinion. I really didn't like it. It was just bad. It was bad, and there was no reason for the film.
You're not going to see how. Oh, you will see how it ends, but you're just going to be like,
like bar one very notable kill at the end of Halloween Kills, without giving away spoilers. That whole film didn't need to exist. They could have just had that character die in the first new Halloween film, and oh look, there we go, straight onto Halloween Ends in 2 films, as opposed to whatever the hell that was what we watched last year. And as I said, Evil didn't die tonight, David. It didn't, and it won't. And there'll be more Halloween reboots for eternity because they don't cost a lot of money to make, and they always make a shit ton of money. Because films that have titles that are based on holidays and come out at that time always make money. Always.
I mean, the fact that it's a well-established horror,
exactly,
film as well kind of helps.
I mean, it's been rebooted 3 times in the last however many years, 30 odd years now, man.
What was the second reboot?
Rob Zombie did 2. Remember? No, not many people do. But they have their fans as well. They do have their fans as well. He went and did. He went and made his Devil Rejects House of 1,000 Corpses version of it, and it was just like those films as well. So I mean, I'm not as down on the Rob Zombie stuff. It's just at least he tried doing something a bit different than this. I mean, I just think this new trilogy has been quite weak, bar bringing back Jamie Lee Curtis.
The first one was decent. The first one was decent.
It was decent. It wasn't brilliant. It was decent. I mean, fucking podcasters are to blame for it all, man. Podcasters are to blame for this new trilogy of Halloween films. If they hadn't just pissed them off with the mask.
We're going to bring an end to the world.
Yeah, we're going to bring an end to Haddonfield, Illinois, because we thought we'd wind up Michael Myers when he's in an insane asylum. So 1 out of 5 for me, 2 out of 5 for you. 2 out of 5, David, did you say?
Yeah, 2 out of 5, because I'm,
a bit more.
2 out of 5 means I'm actually going to watch it. I think a 1 out of 5 means I'm probably not going to watch it. That's for me, man. No, you said your piece already.
No, this is different. This is different. If I gave it a 0 out of 5, right, then I probably wouldn't go and see it. Probably still. And if it's not on the list, it's probably why I wouldn't go and see it. And next up, we have Babylon, Damien Chazelle's new film, starring Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, and a host of other actors. And it's about the golden age of Hollywood, with Robbie playing yet another Hollywood girl. I mean, she's making a career of this now after playing Sharon Tate in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She's now playing Clara Bow. So we might as well hand over all the Oscars now, right? I mean, what does Hollywood love more than films about people overcoming a struggle, illness, or disability, or prejudice? Films about itself. It's going to be very interesting to see how the notorious 1920s are handled in regards to racism and casting and treatment of women and all that kind of stuff, and how much more that'll be prevalent to the story that we're trying to tell in the modern day. And also, it's Damien Chazelle, right? So I expect lots of jazz. Smooth jazz.
Oh, yeah, he loves... Oh, yeah, man, he loves...
He loves
jazz.
a good jazz, doesn't he? All over the place.
Yeah.
Babylon. All the Oscars and all the jazz. All over the place. Predicting it now.
I can imagine, I imagine this is going to be pretty big on the Oscar run.
Of course it's going to be.
Definitely,
Because it's about Hollywood.
Chazelle, man, yeah.
And it's Chazelle, yeah. So, I'm a 4 out of 5 on this. I mean, his films are great. You know, you can't dispute La La Land and Whiplash. So, and he's still annoyingly young as well, David. So, you know, there's that.
He is 37. Yep,
37.
I googled it because I was annoyed at how young he was.
Yeah.
I remember, didn't he win an Oscar at 31?
I don't know.
Youngest ever director winning Oscar, I think, at 31.
I don't know. I think that was Orson Welles, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. You're right. But I don't know. He was still young.
So
and annoying.
Anyway, we're going from the golden age of Hollywood, David, to...
Wait, no, I didn't give my number.
Oh.
I didn't give my number. I was going to give it a 3. I was going to give it a 3 out of 5.
Because again, I'm getting your default position is if you don't know too much about the film, you just know who's
exactly.
in it, you go straight down the middle.
Well, I'm not going to lie and be like, I know nothing. No, actually, you know what? That's not 100% correct because there's a film in my top 10 list that you know nothing about.
Oh, wow.
Literally nothing.
Unless it's the one that you mentioned that I didn't put in my list that I've obviously researched. So I think you might have just blown your load on that one. So from Babylon to Knives Out 2, Daniel Craig reprises his ungodly accented master detective, Benoit Blanc, once again, as Netflix have spent all the money, well, $469 million to be exact, to purchase the rights to 2 more Knives Out movies. Rian Johnson looking like a pretty good bet right now, isn't he? You know, everyone hated him when he burned at the stake after The Last Jedi, and I'm just going to do a small detective film, and that's taken all the money and become a massive franchise. So, well done, Rian Johnson, well done. I think he'd much rather be making these films than another trilogy of Star Wars films, to be fair, after all the shit he got for those. Anyway, Craig... Yeah,
but Star Wars films would have made him a little bit more money, probably.
Well, we don't know. I mean, that $469 million, how much of that's gone into his pocket?
Probably not.
Probably not
that much.
Probably, well, I don't know.
A decent amount, though. I mean, it wouldn't bold. I wouldn't say no.
He's not going to be at the soup kitchen anytime soon, is he? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Craig is the only confirmed returning cast member, because the idea being, with each of the Benoit Blanc films is, he goes somewhere else and investigates a new crime elsewhere, which means all the brilliant actors from the first film are gone. We will not see them again. There will be no lovely Ana de Armas. There will be no Jamie Lee Curtis. There will be no Chris Evans with his sweaters. But this time, it looks like there's going to be a grisly murder on a lovely island in Greece. And, mate, what sells this film already, bar the fact that, you know, it's a sequel to Knives Out, which was one of the best films the year that came out. And it is the spectacular cast of news. So our killer, David, could be anyone from Dave Bautista, Edward Norton, Janelle Monáe, Leslie Odom Jr., Kate Hudson.
Oh, Leslie, I want to get... No, Leslie Odom, that's the one. Leslie Odom Jr.
Oh, right.
Aaron Burr.
Okay.
Leslie, it's him.
So because of that, you've got Kate Hudson.
Yep.
Remember, Kate Hudson. Hi, it's been a while. She's not been around for ages. You've got Jessica Henwick, who's starting to make quite a lot of moves in movies now after being, after surviving Iron Fist. She's now in the new Matrix film and one of the better things in that. You got Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke always turns up in stuff these days, and he's having a bit of a Hawkenaissance, as we will call it. And the obvious red herring as well, it has to be Catherine Hahn, right? You don't cast Agatha into a murder mystery thing and have it be her. It's too obvious. It's too on the nose. She can really, really play it up. And like I say, my guess is Hawke is going to be the murder victim, right? And I expect everyone, and everyone will expect it to be Agatha all along. But, again...
maybe.
I think that's too obvious, though. And just like Knives Out, right? Again, this is a spoiler for Knives Out, kind of, but not major, because I'm not saying who it is. But Knives Out actually reveals who the killer is halfway through the film. So, again, I expect something quite clever from Johnson in his script for this as well. So, all on board for Knives Out 2, 5 out of 5. Can't wait.
I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, and I'm going to change my killer. I don't want it to be Leslie Odom Jr., because you know what? Aaron Burr deserves a break. And that's the only thing I can think of that he's been in.
Okay. So who's your prediction for the killer?
I'm going Edward Norton.
Edward Norton.
You know, he's got the look about him.
Primal Fear. Do you remember Primal Fear?
Yeah. He's got the look about him, I reckon he was in.
So speaking of Primal Fear, David, a film I am terrified about is Morbius. Now, this just sounds terrible.
I'm assuming just because you're terrified it's going to be awful.
Exactly. Please, no, stop. Jared Leto is a Batman. Well, a man who becomes part vampire because of a bat.
That's basically the same thing.
The best the trailers and posters could muster was from the people that brought you Venom, which is really not a high mark of quality anyway. I mean, also slumming it is Matt Smith and Jared Harris, and the trailer looks more generic than the original Venom ones. Somehow, Michael Keaton is going to be in this, playing his Vulture character from Spider-Man Homecoming, which I did not know about at all. So expect lots of really, really, really poorly written Batman jokes between him and Leto. Ugh. That's my official rating on this. This just about... this gets a 1 out of 5, David. I've got no interest in seeing this at all. But if there's nothing else on the cinema at the week, it's out. I'll probably go and see it. Just to see how good Keaton is. Because it's Keaton.
I'm also a 1 out of 5. I'm not Leto's biggest fan.
No one is. He's terrible,
Since
man.
he done Dallas Buyers Club...
Yeah,
he's kind of been like, I don't know. Did he get like this idea that he's this fucking amazing, crazy, decent actor?
I mean,
that, and now
he did win the Oscar for best supporting actor, wasn't it? So yeah,
best supporting. Yeah, and he was fucking awesome in it.
He was good before that.
Do something.
He was good before that. And all that stuff, but just no, man. I don't know why.
But this film, I bet it's going to be the exact same problem with the Venom. Yeah. With the Venom film, which is it was like almost like it should have been made
in the 90s,
the same time period as the same Raimi horror,
I would go a decade earlier, mate.
Not with the quality of like Marvel films that you're getting at the moment. You know, it's going to be like almost like you could stepping back in time and watching
I was about to say the Sony Marvel films, bar the Spider-Man ones, have largely been forgettable. I mean, the Venom ones are okay. They are what they are. And what I really appreciated about Venom 2 was it was only 90 minutes, so it stripped away all the bollocks, and it just let Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson go at each other for 90 minutes. So fair enough.
So basically, you really liked the Venom 2 because you didn't have to watch it for that long.
Exactly. And the thing is, you can see what Hardy's trying to do, and they just haven't got the guts to let him go fully with it. Do you know what? No segue for this film, because where we're going, David, it's Uncharted. That's okay. So, directed by Zombieland Ruben Fleischer. Oh dear, David. First of all, that's good, right? That's the good news. Zombieland and Zombieland 2, great films. But it's co-written by your favourite showrunner at the moment, who definitely didn't ruin one of your favourite fantasy books in his adaptation. It's co-written by Rafe Lee Judkins from Wheel of Time.
I did not know that.
You do now.
Okay.
Has that changed your score on it?
No, I was pretty low anyway. Oh, sorry, I hit my microphone.
That's fair enough. So yeah, this is the long-awaited and delayed adaptation of the famous PlayStation series that I've never played because it's only available on PlayStation.
You've never played it?
No, because I didn't have. I've only had Xboxes.
Oh man, dude, the Uncharted game's fucking amazing.
Well, so this stars Tom Holland as a young Ethan. Is it Ethan Drake? Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake.
Why have I got Ethan Drake there? Anyway, it's a young Nathan Drake. Now, I assume, well, this film has been in development so long that Mark Wahlberg, who plays Sully, Drake's mentor, was originally going to play Drake himself. And it took so long that the dream fan casting of Nathan Fillion didn't come to pass because he's about ready to retire by now. So, will this be this year's Jungle Cruise, a mildly entertaining action-adventure, or do we underestimate the box office appeal of Tom Holland? Now, David, you've played this game, right? Because I never have. So I'm going to assume it's a bit like Indiana Jones, right?
So it's sort of like, not Indiana... Yeah, like Indiana Jones, I suppose, yeah. It's like your Tomb Raider games, like your Indiana Jones, yeah. It's the issue what I see with Uncharted, and it's the same with The Last of Us, actually, the TV show that's coming out, is that... both those games are made by Naughty Dog. They do such a great way of explaining the story and interweaving the story through just natural conversations that you're having with characters and through your cutscenes. And the story element of both games is fucking amazing. I don't know what a movie is going to bring extra to that. And I know Uncharted is sort of a prequel to all the Uncharted games. Mark Wahlberg's casting, man, I don't know, that ain't for me. I don't get that.
Wahlberg can be good. Then he can also be
Not
Mark
as,
Wahlberg.
I mean, he ain't. He's not my Sully.
And I mean,
Not for me.
and look at Tom Holland, right? What films has he made? How good have his films been outside of Spider-Man, right? Cherry, there's one on Apple where he played a war vet. That was very good. He showed he could act again really well in that. Oh, and he did this Southern Gothic drama on Netflix. I forgot the name of it, but he was really good in that. But then he also did Chaos Walking, which was terrible.
What about his very first film? Well, actually, I don't know if it was his very first film.
What's that?
It was one of his earlier films. Impossible.
Yeah, but that's ages ago. Like, he was a kid actor. He's different now.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks about 12 still, but he's probably like 28 or something now. Anyway, do you know what the things that struck me about this, right? If you look at the poster, and I posted this on our Twitter the other day, everyone looks so bored in the poster, right? And I put a comparison up with the Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom poster, right? And the Uncharted poster, because it's all just heads around the map thing on both of them, right? On the Indiana Jones poster, 3 people are actually smiling. Indiana Jones, even the main fucking villain smiling, and another guy smiling on the top right-hand corner. It's when they took these shots for the Uncharted poster, it's literally like they said to everyone, right, be serious, be actiony. That, unfortunately, has transpired to the trailer. They showed the trailer for this before Scream the other week. I didn't laugh once, David. I didn't go, oh, that looks cool, at anything in the trailer. It just seemed so boring and generic. And like you said, it literally, for me, it felt like I was watching a Tomb Raider film from like the 90s. I was like, oh no.
The recreation of some of the stuff that happens in the games as well. The games are, I guess this is going to be over the top. This is going to be on that same sort of over the top action film as the Fast and Furious films have become, where it's almost inhuman what people are doing, and you're kind of just having to be like, oh, okay, yeah, that happened.
All right.
People can get bashed through a wall and not die. Okay,
well, we
cool.
used to that with superhero films.
That sort of thing.
We're like, yeah, but people will be that Spider-Man.
Gravity-defying stunts, that sort of shit.
How many people... Do you reckon there's going to be a really badly written Spider-Man joke where someone's like, you can't grab onto something and slips? Or Holland will be like, no. We can't bite the hand that feeds. Anyway, yeah. Uncharted, I'm going to give this a 3. 3 out of 5.
I'm on a 2. I'm on a 2 for Uncharted.
I think, knowing the games, you're going to be a little bit more harsher on it than I am. It could go either way. I've not been impressed by what I have seen so far, so a 3. And speaking of people who blow shit up and over-the-top action, Michael Bayham returns. Well, just Michael Bay. But he's bringing his particular brand of Bayhem back in a film called Ambulance, which is a remake of a 2015 Danish film about 2 adoptive brothers who decide to rob a bank and steal an ambulance occupied by a paramedic. Now, apparently, it's supposed to be a character-driven piece about 2 brothers on the run, and the cast and setting is quite small for this being a typical Bay film, and in its favour, the 2 brothers are played by Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, so it could be good. It could be good, David. I'm quietly confident on this because of the casting, and I like the basic idea of it, and it's a remake, right? So it's not Bay doing something original, which he's terrible at. So it's best it could be...
How big are you on Michael Bay, though, as a whole?
Well, no, do you know what? He actually, it's
the man's entertaining. You can't not give him that. He's...
Oh, was it? One of our friends on Twitter, when Harry met movies, put a poll up the other day and basically said, right, put comment here and I'll assign you a director and you have to give us his top 5 films. And the bastard gave me Michael Bay. And it literally, it was like... I forget the order as well now, but they literally went chronologically. So he's got worse as the years have gone by. I think it was Bad Boys 2, The Rock, Armageddon, and the first Transformers film.
Okay. Who did Pearl Harbor?
Oh, he did, but I'm not putting that on my list of best Michael Bay films. It was terrible.
Okay, I didn't. You know what? I quite like Pearl Harbor.
Well, you should go to hell.
It's got a soft spot for me.
So Ambulance, again, it's smack bang in the middle. It could be great, or it could be Pain and Gain 2. We don't know. It's a 3. 3 out of 5 for me. You, David?
2. What about The Island? I quite like The Island as well.
Yeah, no, not enough. Next up, David, you like music and stuff, so that's a terrible segue again. But Baz Luhrmann is doing an Elvis film with a young actor who's quite unknown called Austin Butler. This is also the film where Tom Hanks was in Australia and got COVID, so there's that going against it already. But hey, man, it's Baz Luhrmann doing Elvis. So, relatively unknown cast of Aussie actors as well surrounding him. But, I mean, this film all hinges on the performance of this young kid, Austin Butler, right? If he nails it, again, everyone will be talking about it. If it's not quite there...
Yeah.
And it's Baz
If, it's
Luhrmann's...
not, well, if you look at the biopics that we've had already,
Yeah.
like your Rami Malek and your Taron Egerton,
Taron Egerton, yeah.
was it? Yeah. Going from them, who you'd heard of, to somebody that you haven't, doing probably the most famous of the
But
three.
I think that's a better idea, having someone who's not well known, right? Because you don't associate the actor with the baggage of their other roles. And it just... But again, for me, right, this is my problem I have with musical biopics. Unless I'm a big fan of that person, I have to be interested a lot in the person the biopic's about. When Joaquin Phoenix won for all the awards for Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash one, I'm not a Johnny Cash fan. I like the odd bit of his, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan enough to want to watch a whole story about the guy's life. And also, since seeing John C. Reilly's piss take film of it, Walk Hard, I can never take it seriously again. That's a massively underrated film, David. If you haven't seen, you should watch sometime. Walk Hard, brilliant film.
I've not seen it.
Oh, dude, it's one of the best comedies that no one ever goes on about. It's great. Walk Hard.
But Baz Luhrmann's another one that's was really good early on,
And
then
trailed a
not.
bit. Australia, terrible.
Yeah,
Not the country.
yeah.
Country's
Romeo and Juliet, Moulin Rouge.
I feel when
That's kind of all I can think of.
I feel when I said Australia terrible, I didn't mean the country. I love the country, Australia. Full of great people. No, that sounded disingenuous as well. No, look, he made a really bad film called Australia. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Baz Luhrmann's kind of style, I don't know if that works with Elvis. I think for an Elvis film, almost a kind of more pared down style would work better for it, don't you think? It's kind of, I don't see the styles being a match on this. So I'm giving this a 3 again, because I'm smack bang in the middle. But I'm not that big an Elvis fan, so I'm not really that interested in it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm probably going to give it a 1.
Wow. David hates Elvis. You heard it here first. You heard it here first, folks.
No, I like Elvis. Well, I only know I probably only think of like 5 songs, but I like Elvis. It's more, it's more just I'm not a big fan of sort of, I don't know. No, I didn't. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. I'm not a big fan of the biopic sort of films.
Yes, exactly
the same.
Exactly the same. I'm exactly the same as you. Unless I've got a big interest in the person who my bipic's about, I don't really care. It could be great acting. Ray Charles, that was it. Jamie Foxx played Ray Charles. Same thing. Everyone raved. Oscars abound. Yeah, I'm not. And that's not. I'm just not. If they did a documentary biopic about Metallica one day, I'd be there in a shot. If they did it about Pearl Jam, I'd be there in a shot. Did one about Jimi Hendrix or Kurt Cobain, I'd be there in a shot. But it's just the people. So
Kurt Cobain one would be quite good.
Yeah,
and Hendrix actually.
Yeah, well, there you go. But imagine the casting, man. Jesus Christ, that'd be a hiding to nowhere for some of those, wouldn't it? Right, so we're coming on to our first, I think it's the first MCU film we're mentioning, David. And it is Ant-Man Quantumania. Ant-Man, the red-headed stepchild of the MCU. Everyone loves Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd? Everyone loves, that sounds like a porn star, Paul Rudd. Everyone likes Paul Rudd, but the Ant-Man film... Paul Rudd, okay, get out of your system.
He does sound like a porn star.
Right, everyone loves Paul Rudd, but the Ant-Man films have just, pardon the pun, felt small compared to the rest of the MCU. And this is going to be the 33rd film in the MCU. But you know what? I think we may finally have a storyline worthy of the great cast that's been assembled. In the last film, we had Michael Douglas's Hank Pym finally rescuing his long-lost wife Janet from the quantum realm, played by the really not aged in 30 years Michelle Pfeiffer. Scott's daughter Cassie has been recast, so Catherine Newton, the upcoming young actress from Freaky, clearly her role is going to be a bit bigger if they've brought in a bigger name actress to play Cassie coming forward in the franchise. And what can we...
Sorry, wait, did they recast her from Endgame?
I think she appeared for the first time in Endgame.
Oh, okay.
But before that, in Ant-Man 1 and 2, it was a different actress. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But what can we expect? Well, shit is about to get real as we get to meet another variant of John... bit my lip.
You should keep that in.
I probably will. But what can we expect? Well, shit is about to get real as we get to meet another variant of Jonathan Majors' Kang the Conqueror. From Loki show, of course. And he's already been described as the next big cross-movie villain for the MCU. So finally, we have an Ant-Man film that has stakes for the rest of the MCU. And breaking news, David, in the last week we have found out, or the last 2 weeks, depending when this goes out, that Bill Murray has joined the MCU as well. And he's in this. Bill Murray is in Ant-Man Quantumania.
At this point, is there an actor that's not in the MCU? In some way?
Yes, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, but time may tell on that one. Because there are big rumours that Krasinski has been cast.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the rumours I've heard, David, is that his post-credit scene is going to be on Doctor Strange too.
Oh, I like it.
And the way they're going to do it is he's going to be a variant. So we're going to bring in a new variant thing of Fantastic Four. So, yeah, that's a way of getting them into the MCU and not having to redo the whole origin story again. And where they've done that with Spider-Man and some of the other characters that they've brought in, like Black Panther, he didn't have his own origin film originally. He come in first as a side character in Civil War. So I think they're going to try and do this with more characters, and I think that'd be a great way of bringing them into it. So
I think, with Black Panther though, he came in as not really a side character, more like a pretty strong plot-driven.
Oh, he was key to the
was
plot.
Driving the plot, a lot of it.
Yeah. But then he disappeared for a little bit and then came back at the end.
If he'd have just come in sort of like with nothing really else to do with the film.
But I am thinking,
almost kind of like Ant-Man, it wouldn't have worked.
But I am thinking, David, this is probably the most anticipated Ant-Man film because we know it's going to introduce Jonathan Majors. And he's going to be your big bad for the next, well, I'm guessing the next Avengers they're going to be building up to. So, easy decision here. 5 out of 5 for Quantum Mania.
Yeah, I'm on a 5 as well. I'm looking forward to this film.
And next, a tiny little film about an American Samoan football team called Next Goal Wins. And, of course, this is Taika Waititi's next film. And it's it's the film version of the documentary of the same name. And it is about the American Samoan football team and how, after having such a terrible record, they lose 31-0, and then they decide to get a Maverick new coach in, and he's played by Michael Fassbender. And Fassbender has last-minute casting because he's replaced Armie Hammer because, well, reasons. I keep meaning to watch his documentary.
That we mentioned earlier.
So I keep meaning to watch a documentary this is based on. And do you know what? It makes me laugh. This is one of Taka's small films in between doing a Star Wars stuff. Or a Thor movie. And yet, if you look at his kind of recent filmography, his small films are just as good, if not better sometimes, than his big budget ones. I mean, Hunt for the Wilder People with Sam Neill, and that was brilliant. Absolutely amazing film. Again, spelt autocorrect is written down Mojo Rabbit, which sounds like a kid's animated film, and not Jojo Rabbit, which again, brilliant film, and it won him an Oscar. Right? You know, Thor Ragnarok didn't win him an Oscar. And, you know, as I say, it's the next Taka film, right? But I'm only going to give this a 4 out of 5. I'm very much looking forward to it, but, you know, and I'm sure it's going to bump up to a 5 when I see it. Very much looking forward to it.
I'm more of a 2.
What?
For me.
You have no soul.
Yeah, well, mainly because I'm... Like, I think you're such a massive Taika Waititi fan.
Yep.
You're huge on him. You love the bloke.
Yep.
Whereas I'm kind of like, I love Jojo Rabbit.
You like him as a director, but you don't like him as an actor. Is that right? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, that's it. Is he in this? Is he acting in this?
No, he's a director.
Yeah, but does he appear as?
He'd probably have a cameo or something, wouldn't he? Like he's had small roles in his other films. Well, you know, except for being the main role of Hitler in Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
So 4 out of 5 for me, David, and you gave this a 2. Disgraceful state of affairs.
You know what? I want to bump it up. I want to bump it up to a 3.
That's fair. And here's a film I think you'll bump up from a 3 to a 4, if I'm going to guess right. And it is the new Scott Derrickson horror film, David, The Black Phone, starring, once again, Ethan Hawke. Man, Ethan Hawke is working a lot this year.
He's fucking everywhere.
Now,
whereas last year he'd have been working a lot. All of this is probably wrapped.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't forget he's being a villain in Moon Knight as well. So this is adapted from a Joe Hill short story. And after exiting Doctor Strange, this is Erickson's next project. Now, it's a Blumhouse film with a tiny budget of 18 million. And it stars a young boy called Mason Thames as an abducted kid who can communicate with the past victims of the kidnapper played by Ethan Hawke. So, this sounds interesting. Low budget, and it's Scott Derrickson. So, I'm giving this...
got some real It vibes.
So, I'm giving this...
Did you get that?
I'm giving this a 3 out of 5. Firmly in the middle.
You know, I was gonna. I'm happy with a 4 out of 5.
I predicted that. I knew you was going to give a horror film an Derrickson one more on the 5. Next up is a film I'm going to give 5 out of 5 for, just purely because of the title of the film, and it's called Cocaine Bear. Now, if you can't find a better movie title than that this year, I don't even want to know about it. It's directed by Elizabeth Banks, who's finally getting back on the horse after not having a very good time with her Charlie's Angel remake. which got slated everywhere. And then obviously there was comments in the media she made trying to defend it that didn't go too well. But do you know what? She's been a brilliant actress, and she has got that talent behind the camera. And I'm glad to see that she's got a chance already again to make a film. And this just sounds... It's about a 175-pound bear that ingests a duffel bag full of cocaine. And do you know what, David? That's all I really need to know about the film. I'm going to go and see this. Cocaine Bear, 5 out of 5. Really want to see it. No idea what it's about other than that.
Yeah, I'm a 2 out of 5, mainly because I hadn't even heard of it until you mentioned it to me. So I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I mean, I think for you, it'll depend what's out that week, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
So next up, we are diving back into the IMF, and it's Mission Impossible 7, much delayed, which was due out this year, last year. They all blended some. It was due out a long, long time ago. And it was actually the first film that got back filming during the pandemic. And then, obviously, because of COVID rules and all that, it kept getting delayed and delayed because everyone just kept getting COVID on the cast. In fact, Tom Cruise did do his best Christian Bale and yelled at crew members for not taking COVID guidelines. Yeah, fuck yeah, Tom Cruise, you tell him. Now, this is the third collaboration between Cruise and writer-director Chris McQuarrie. And arguably, for me, at least this last 2 Mission Impossible films have been the very best. The action has been ridiculous and amazing on a level that even James Bond currently wishes it could have. And you know what? They even have a great female spy on board in Rebecca Ferguson's Ilsa Forst. But why stop there, David? What McQuarrie...
You have such a hard-on for Rebecca Ferguson.
Don't believe you can say that phrase on the podcast. I'm saying you can't. I'm going to beep you. But no, in this film as well, though, David, what McQuarrie did brilliantly over the last 2 films, he almost serialised it, right? So the films dive into the rest of the franchise's history. So they're bringing out older characters. So in Mission Impossible 6, we got Vanessa Kirby turning up in it as the White Widow, an arms dealer, who is the daughter of Vanessa Redgrave's character from the very first film. She's also coming back for 7. So again, you've got 2 of the best actresses around there, Ferguson and Kirby. And also returning for the film since the very first film is Henry Cernsey as Eugene Kittredge, and he was a former boss of the IMF. With a certain character not surviving the last film, you need a new kind of head boss of the IMF, and so we're going back to the very first film and bringing this character back. You've also got S.I. Morales on as the film's villain, and as well as the returning crews, you've obviously got Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Ferguson we've mentioned, but also joining the cast this time, you know, just to throw in another one of the great action British actresses out there, Hayley Atwell. Agent Carter's joining the cast as well. So Kirby, Ferguson and Atwell on board. Cruise has just surrounded himself with 3 of the best action actresses out there at the moment. I really can't wait to see what Cruise can throw himself off or under or in front of next. 5 out of 5, David. Can't wait to see this. This is going to flow straight into Mission Impossible 8 as well.
I'm just going to say a number here, Neil.
And I'm going to be angry.
1 out of 5.
What?
And I'll tell you why it's a 1 out of 5.
Oh.
It's because I haven't seen
Mission Impossible 5 and 6.
Any Mission Impossible film aside from, I think, 5?
Oh, that was the one with the Burj Khalifa?
I can't remember.
I mean, if you can't remember that, David, then
But yeah, I've just never watched Mission Impossible films.
Right. Do you know
Never,
what?
not one of them.
I would advise you, David, to start with number 5 and 6, because that's where they start telling them.
Why would I not just watch it from the beginning?
Because it's only when Chris McQuarrie takes over that I think it gets good. It's kind of like a Fast and Furious situation, right? The first one was really good years ago, and then 2, 3, 4...
But do you not need to watch like the rest of them to understand sort of character backstories and what's going on?
No, because I got my parents to watch them, and they followed it, and they're old. So there you go. So if they can follow it, and you're in your 20s just about still, you should be able. Just watch 5, watch 5, 6, and then you'll be up to speed for 7. Yeah, so a 2, David. Disgusting.
No, I gave it a 1.
Oh, that's even more disgusting. I'm disgusted with you.
That's just because I haven't seen the rest of them. I feel like I need to watch. If I'd have watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'd be maybe up there with a lot.
And you would have been like, wow, the franchise is really getting better. Right, so next up, and it's not out, it's out in March very soon, David. The Batman. Yeah, Matt Reeves.
I am justice. That was a terrible impression of Batman. I'm sorry.
Matt Reeves gives us.
I'm vengeance. Damn it.
Yeah, just stop. You're embarrassing yourself now, and the rest of everyone. Matt Reeves gives us another dark and moody version of everyone's favourite rich vigilante cosplayer, because this time it's starring a little-known indie actor called Robert Pattinson. Familiar with him, David?
I'm aware of his work. Yes, I'm aware. He's not done a whole lot since. You know what? I think I've only seen him in The Lighthouse. Very small film. Not a lot of people have seen that. He was in something to do with like being really sparkly. He really shone out. He really shone in something.
Oh no, terrible. Yeah. So Pattinson basically is stepping back into a big franchise for the first time since Twilight, and obviously since then he's decided to completely go against the standard, Hollywood thing and just do as many weird, bizarre indie films as possible. And do you know what I say to that? More power to you, Robert. More power to you. Also starring Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Paul Dano's The Riddler, who looks to be the main villain and looks sincerely creepy in the trailer, man. I mean,
Paul Dano is one of the most underrated actors out there, in my opinion. I fucking love Paul Dano.
I mean, he could just be the Riddler in Prisoners, couldn't he? He's that same type
of...
No.
Yeah. Kinda?
Yeah, kind of. You got Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon and an unrecognisable Colin Farrell as Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin. And apparently that's going so well, he's already got his own HBO Max spin-off show. Do you know what? I mean, it does look great, and I'm sure it's going to be a hit. But what really is it doing differently from Nolan's films? I mean, at least we haven't got a new Joker back already, thank God. And I really hope we actually get to see Batman be a detective this time round. And because that generally seems to be what most of the fandom wants now. And, how many times can you tell the same story? I just hope we don't see Martha get killed in the alleyway again.
Yeah, I don't want to see an origin story. I'm thinking they're going to ignore the origin story.
They have to, man.
I don't think they're going to go there. Everyone knows it. At this point.
So do you know what? I'm smack bang in the middle for this. I like Matt Reeves as the director. But this is a 3 for me at the minute. Probably a bit on the low scale.
Okay, that's surprising.
Yeah, well, I mean...
That's surprising.
For me, it's just... It looks great, but it looks... Show me some... The only thing I think it's going to show me that we haven't seen before is him actually be a detective and have a really iconic villain in the Riddler. And I'm hoping Dano gets that chance. And also, I've heard rumours that it's 3 hours long, David.
Yeah, I've heard that it's a very long film as well. I think Paul Dano is going to... He'll do it. I've got faith in him. I've got good faith in him. Underrated as an actor.
I think we'll both be saying people will be comparing him to the Joker in like that Heath Ledger in that it's an iconic performance. It really...
Hopefully, if he's anywhere near that, then it's going to be fucking.
I think he will
insane.
Be. Yeah,
I'm a 5 out of 5 for this. I'm really quite excited.
I think this is the first time I've gone lower than you on something.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it is. Right. Well, we're now getting on to another MCU film, and that is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So, tying in nicely from WandaVision and Spider-Man No Way Home, this sees Sam Raimi return to comic book films after his original Spider-Man trilogy, and what better choice could you have for a horror-inflected MCU film? Speculation has been rife for months since WandaVision and the post-No Way Home debut trailer, which heavily inferred that a variant of Doctor Strange may indeed be the bad guy on this film, with the storyline mirroring quite closely the storyline from Marvel's animated What If show. Also, it's nice to see they didn't forget that Mordo exists, and hopefully they give Rachel McAdams something to do this time as well, other than be ignored or fridged.
Hopefully she doesn't get fridged.
Yeah, well, I mean, but if you go with the what if thing, that's literally his motivation. She dies, and he's like, oh, I'm going to go mad because she's dead. So I'm just hoping they don't do that.
Maybe a variation of her gets fridged.
Oh, God. Yeah, she'll get killed multiple times over and over again. I have come to bargain for my missus, who I basically left for pretty much 3/4 of the film. But yeah, I mean, it's Sam Raimi, it's Doctor Strange, it's got a lot of heavy lifting to do to set up other stuff, but I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5, David. I cannot wait to see this. This will be high.
I am a 4 out of 5 for it. I was a 5 out of 5 until I saw the trailer, and then I was a bit disappointed by the trailer. A little bit disappointed. Yeah, because if you're going off what we saw with what Spider-Man did with multiverses, can that be topped?
Well, I mean, yes, because it's the continuation of the same story, right? By the same team. So I have faith it's going to live up to it, and I think they'll use it as a reset.
Fair enough.
Next up we are going to go to Jurassic World Dominion, which the last time life finds a way. Do you know the last film to have the word Dominion as after its main title, David? I'm not sure. This is 100.
It's going to be.
It was The Exorcist 4. Yeah, the less said about that, the better. I didn't even know I mentioned it. So yes, the big selling point for the new Jurassic World film, though, with David, is Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern, and the magnificent Sam Neill all return alongside Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, which is nice, I guess, for them. In Colin Trevorrow's return to finish the trilogy, because he obviously did Jurassic World, and then was it I forget the director who came on to do Jurassic World. Fallen Kingdom was the second one. And then the original director's back again. Guess who's back? Well, it's Colin Trevorrow. And we've all seen the first 5 minutes of this for about 6 months now, because it was screened last summer alongside Fast 9 in the cinemas. Yeah. And this time we actually start the movie back in the Cretaceous era, where we see God knows how this is pronounced, Giganotosaurus killer T-Rex. So essentially, what I get from that is they are setting up the new big bad for the film, which is going to be this gigantic Gigasaurus thing, and it's going to fight the T-Rex in the modern day. So you know what, David? I'm here for it. 4 out of 5.
I'm here for it as well. I'm a 5 out of 5. I love it. I love Jurassic Park. I really enjoyed Jurassic World as well. I think Colin Trevorrow is like, name me one thing he did before Jurassic World.
Yeah, safety not included. Safety not guaranteed, sorry.
Okay, fair enough. But what I was going to say there is, I think it's a classic example of somebody like kind of very unknown being given a fucking massive project. And
wasn't he down for one of the Star Wars movies as well at one point? He was down for would have been Rise of Skywalker, wouldn't it?
I think he was on for something. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, I'm really excited for it. I love Jurassic World. I love Jurassic Park. I like dinosaurs, man. Back in the day, I wanted to be a paleontologist.
I'm glad you said you wanted to be Ross from Friends.
Yeah, basically. I thought he was cool.
No one ever thought Ross was cool, though.
I even learnt how to spell paleontologist. It was one of the first words that I learned to spell.
Oh dear.
And it really annoyed me that the American and English have different spellings. But anyway, big fan. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5.
Next up, one of the most anticipated films of this year, I think for many, many people, is the return of the God of Thunder himself in Thor: Love and Thunder, or 4-4, as they're going to call it. Probably not. And also, I can't pronounce the word "for" properly. 4-4. I mean, there's got to be some clever marketing they're going to be doing with it. So, we got Taika Waititi returning. Give me more Korg. Give us all the Korg. And what it could be is actually Hemsworth's last film. Because the storyline, from what's been rumoured and just guessed from like the casting, is that we're finally going to see the female version of Thor to be played by Natalie Portman's character, who, well, let's say she's had quite a mixed reaction from her earlier 4 films. She didn't come back for Endgame, and then only came back briefly in what film was it? Oh no, she did come back briefly in Endgame. It was Endgame. She came back in briefly. I forgot because she was so forgettable in them. And you know what? There is a real mixed reaction to the female Thor storyline in the comic community as well, from what I gather. And I think in anyone else's hands but Taika, this storyline would just struggle. Like immediately, I think a lot of the fanboys would have been like, "No, we don't want a female Thor. Fuck it, we're not seeing it." Blah 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 blah. You know, men stuff. I think they would have struggled. How men stuff.
Yeah. Well, the 4 films before Taika took it on were probably the worst ones.
Yes, the first one was the first one was okay with Kenneth Branagh doing the whole Shakespearean kind of thing. But the second one was Alan Taylor from Game of Thrones, and he wasn't good. I mean, do you remember who the villain was in 40?
Yeah, wasn't it Christopher Eccleston?
Yeah, but I mean more specifically his character, not just Eccleston. Malekith,
some ice monster.
Dark elf.
Malekith, that's a dark elf. Sorry.
Don't forget the last time we saw Thor, he was hanging out with the Guardians / Asgardians of the Galaxy, and basically bitching with Chris Pratt every 5 minutes. And all of Asgard's survivors had made their home on Earth, which was now being ruled, not Earth, but, New Asgard, by Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie. So, obviously, we've got the big return of Portman, who, as we say, was massively underserved in the first couple of films. So, again, she must have been dying to work with someone who's actually going to give her character something to do. And I think everyone forgets how great an actress Natalie Portman is. I think she hasn't acted as much in recent years, but, I mean, she got Oscar nominations for the Jackie Onassis film, right? So, I think when it comes to like franchise films,
did she? Well, how did she do for Black Swan?
Yeah, didn't she win for Black Swan? Actually, I think she might
have won. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Is she isn't like chucking out all the films all the time. She's quite more selective. But I think with sort of sci-fi superhero and that, everyone always thinks Star Wars and how absolutely terrible. And that's not her fault. That's just George Lucas can't direct people or write dialogue. I
don't think that's fair. I don't think Star Wars when I think Natalie Portman.
No, most people think Leon, which is like her first film.
No.
Anyway, moving on to the villain. Christian Bale is going finally into the MCU as well as Gore the God Butcher. So you know what, David? I guess some gods are going to get butchered. Do you reckon he kills Thor in it? I don't know.
That would be fucking big. But then again, well, are they just going to eventually kill off all the old guard? You know, just kill them all off. The original.
I mean, there's not many
Avengers.
left now, is there?
Well, aren't there contractual things as well coming into the play? I don't know. What have they all signed new contracts, or are they all got?
Do you know
like,
what?
one
I don't
film
know,
left of
and
their
I don't want to
contracts?
know because then it makes it more fun going in. If I know exactly, I mean, back in the day,
That's
everyone was like, "This guy's got this many films on his contract," therefore, and I think they're publicising that a lot less now, aren't they, than they were before? Because people, you don't want it. I'll tell you one thing. Do you remember?
Yeah, because there was Sebastian Stan that had like 8 films left on his contract, and one.
They've been cameos,
At
haven't
the
they? So he's
time,
like been in everything. Yeah. I tell you what, it also looks like we're going to get some fun cameos, David. Do you remember in Thor Ragnarok when Thor comes back and Loki is watching the play of what's happened in the first 2 films? It sounds like
with his brother.
So it sounds like they're doing the same thing in this version in the next film, because it says Melissa McCarthy is going to be playing a version of Kate Blanchett's Hela. So obviously they're going to play.
Or are we going into the multiverse again?
I reckon it's going to be that. And but one interesting thing is Russell Crowe cameoing as Zeus. I mean, good God, man, he was Superman's dad, and now he's coming in as Zeus as well. So yeah, but I don't know how that works, because I thought Zeus was Greek mythology and not Norse mythology. Yeah, so how does that work?
Well, he's basically the same thing as Thor, isn't he? They're both gods of thunder.
Right, yeah, so I don't know how it works, man. But
maybe he gets butchered. He's going to be the first one.
Russell Crowe's dying.
He's going to get killed by the God Butcher.
He's going to be like, I went to this reality and I butchered Zeus. Here's his severed head. Chucks it in. And then Thor will be like, I don't know who this guy is. Why am I bothered? And he's like, right, I'm going to kill someone else. It's going to be good, man. Yeah, I mean, so 5 out of 5. Can't wait. It's Taka. It's Thor. Can't wait.
I am also 5 out of 5.
David. Next up, a film that's got a lot in common with the film we've already discussed, and this is The Flash. DC and Ezra Miller, he finally gets his Flash film. And whoops, I think Spider-Man No Way Home may have just stolen your thunder a little bit with his multiverse shenanigans. Still, it is being directed by Andy Muschietti, but it does look like it's got some heavy lifting to do. Now, it has to set up a new Supergirl in Sasha Calle, and from the cast list, I'm assuming we're going to get multiversal versions of Ben Affleck's Batman, Michael Shannon's General Zod's on the cast list, and but most importantly, and the one thing that really got my attention in this is it's got the original Batman. Sorry to Adam West, but the original Batman on film for me at least, Michael Keaton coming back to play that role. All hail the Keaton. I mean, he's raking it in, isn't he? He's in Marvel playing the Vulture, and he's playing Batman in DC. Not a bad job if you can get it, Michael. Not a bad job at all. Also,
he's doing all right. He's playing the field still. He's seeing which one's going to be.
I feel Batman's probably going to be a bit bigger than the Vulture. He's also got Derry Girl Saoirse Monica Jackson in it in an undisclosed role, and I'm calling that right now, David. I reckon she's going to be the new Caitlin Snow / Killer Frost going forward, because she just looks so much like the actress that they've got playing her in the Flash TV show. It's just obvious casting to me. I also like the fact that No Way Home had a little dig at the Flash, because when you see Flash Thompson in it and he's got his book of knowing Peter Parker, it is called Flashpoint. Now, if that's not a subtle, haha, we beat you to it nod, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? If they start bringing in different versions of the characters, everyone's going to be like, oh, but we saw this in Spider-Man. So, yeah. Still...
Yeah, I didn't think that. That is quite clever. The I bet you the right like the whole Flash team that worked on that saw Spider-Man.
Motherfuckers.
Like, fuck's sake. Yeah.
Do you know what though?
They're like, damn it, it's so much better.
I mean, we don't know yet. I mean, you know, it was.
Yeah,
really
we don't
good.
know yet.
He did a brilliant job with that, Andy Muschietti. Ezra Miller's Flash. I think this gives DC a chance to kind of reset their universe with the multiverse stuff again, and hopefully, and this is going to be controversial, David, it will shut down all the Snyderverse crowd once and for all. No, it's probably not going to, is it? You know?
Shut down the crowd.
Yeah,
like
there's all, how many posts do you see online? People going, restore the Snyderverse.
The toxicity of some fans on there
And
is
we
really not
covered
very
this
nice,
before,
yeah.
right? Snyder is working with Netflix now. He's not fussed. Why would you want to work for a company that messed you around that much as well? He said all the right things coming out of it, and they gave him the money to finish it off, which is great. But that was the end of the relationship. He is now making a big sci-fi epic called Rebel Moon for Netflix. I'm sure he's quite happy doing that. And Army of the Dead was, again, one of the best films he's done in ages. So I'm pretty sure Snyder's happy to be away from it. You don't see him encouraging this behaviour. So I'm with The Flash, I'm going to round it off, and I'm going for a 4 out of 5 on this one.
2 out of 5.
Is it because Spider-Man did it already?
No, not because Spider-Man's done it already. It's just because I'm not that interested.
Next
in
up, another classic horror franchise is getting a reboot. Evil Dead is coming back again, despite there being another Evil Dead remake a few years ago that was really, really good. I forget the director's name, but that was played much more as a straight-ahead horror, and that was horrific, man. That was honestly like, and they did a really good job of it. So I don't know why they're not continuing.
Okay, yeah, because I thought, I was going to say,
it was
I
really
enjoyed
good.
that Evil
I
Dead
don't
remake.
know why they haven't continued that.
Yeah.
I think the actress was Jane Levy. I don't know why they haven't continued that storyline, because right at the very end of the credits on that is Ash turns up in that.
Maybe it didn't do very
I'm
well.
guessing it didn't, no. And it's too long past for them to continue now. But we've got Evil Dead Rise coming now. And it is being produced by Sam Raimi's company. But this time it's set in the bowels of an LA apartment, starring Alyssa Sutherland. And it's written and directed by an Irish filmmaker I've not heard of called Lee Cronin. And it's going to come out on HBO Max. So, I don't know, man. It's got to be a cabin in the woods, not in the fucking basement of an apartment in LA. No, that just... this is getting like a 1 for me at the minute, because it just sounds like a bad idea. Like, Evil Dead should be in the woods with trees and trapped in the middle of nowhere. I'm a 1 on this, David. Yeah, because it's not Evil Dead if it's not set in the woods. I'm sorry. Or ancient medieval kingdom.
Well, fair.
I
understand.
It just sounds a cheap idea. Oh, we're going to set it in LA. Oh, because the fucking industry's based in LA.
Yeah, I'm don't. I'm on a 2. I'm a curiosity is there for me.
Well, okay, I don't.
I want to see.
Would you like to know more? No.
But the seed of curiosity has been planted.
But right. So next up, we've got Prey, which is a new Predator movie. And again, I think how many times have they tried to relaunch Predator now after Predator 1 and 2?
I don't know.
Robert Rodriguez did one called Predators, which was fairly decent but forgettable. And then there was Shane Black did one, didn't he? And it was an absolute dog shit. That was it. Shane Black, who wrote the original Predator, did a new one, which I think he just called Predator again. I can't. They just pick sequel names that aren't the same as the original.
There's some at some point you just kind of want to be like, why don't you just come up with an original idea? Like the Predator was in the first place. Instead of just rehashing the same thing because it's going to make money, why don't you try something new? Try and create a new franchise.
With this
which
one,
you can
David,
make money from.
what it's got going for it is the director, and it's Dan Trachtenberg. And Dan Trachtenberg was the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane, and he's directed quite a few really shit-hot TV pilots as well. I think he did the first episode of The Boys. So I am fully on the Dan Trachtenberg director.
10 Cloverfield Lane, was that the one in the basement with...
so it's him.
Okay, yeah, that was a really
I'm
good film.
quite there for that. I think he's... And the idea is, it's the first time the Predators visit Earth. So I'm not really sold on that idea, because clearly, if they're fighting tribes people back in the day, they got space weapons, so it shouldn't really even be like a thing, should it?
Yeah, that would be a pretty one-sided fight.
They'd be like, run out of a spear and just get vaporized, or
It's a pretty one-sided fight anyway.
Yeah. You need to bring in Arnie. I'd love them to do a proper Predator sequel where they wheel out Arnie, and he's like, I fought one of these before. This is what you need to do. Here's my big gun, and then hand it off. That's what we want. So on Prey, I'm going for a 3 out of 5. I'm quite interested in. I'm not massively interested in the story, but I like the director, and I want to see what he can do with it.
Okay, I was a 1 out of 5. Now you've mentioned who's directing it, I'm still a 1 out of 5, but it's nearly
terrible. Yes, that should have got you up to 2. Right. Well, from Ancient Earth and Predators to Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So Aquaman, David, Aquaman 2. Aquaman was silly nonsense, but it looked amazing. And surprisingly, we debated this quite a bit. Amber Heard is still attached, David. So I think she's not.
Okay.
She's kind of survived. She's survived her cancelling pressure. So that was premature to say the least. And crossing the Marvel DC divide, I didn't realise this, is Jimmy Woo, who played the FBI agent in WandaVision, and he's coming over to play Dr. Stephen Strange. Sorry, not Dr. Stephen Strange, Dr. Stephen Shin, who's a marine biologist who wants to find Atlantis. So this is them looking for Atlantis. So, you know, I haven't really got much more to say about it because we haven't really seen anything from it yet. But, you know, Momoa had fun on the first one. I think a tighter script and a funnier script could work. You know, give in to the silly nonsense of it all. But it is James Wan directing again. So we know it's going to look $1 million.
Okay, all right. I liked Aquaman. But it didn't... It was one of the better DC films, but that's not really saying much. It's not exactly a compliment. I'm a 2.
Okay.
A 2.
Yeah, I'd go for... I think I'm going to go for a 3 on it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Perfectly entertaining and fine. You know, it's smack bang down the middle of the road. However, coming in December, so we're right up at the end of the year now, and again, we don't know whether this is going to stick or not. Wakanda Forever. Ryan Coogler returning to the Black Panther world.
Yeah. Now this is a interesting one to see what direction they take.
Do they recast? Because they've said they're not recasting.
I know they shouldn't recast. They shouldn't. I think what they'll do is they'll bring Siri. Is her name Siri? Shuri, thank you.
You just set everyone's devices off
into the forefront more.
Yeah, but the problem is, from what I've read, the actress has been quite outspoken in her anti-vax stuff, and that's been garnering a lot of attention. So I don't know whether they want to.
Why?
Yeah.
Why ruin things?
So she's been a bit controversial on the socials, from what I've been reading. So I'm not quite sure how much the big studios going to get behind her, if that's what's been happening. Also, there's been quite a few COVID outbreaks on the cast recently as well, and delaying stuff. I think Lupita Nyong'o's just recently had it, and that's delayed filming as well. I mean, I think what the film has to achieve is it has to be a tribute to Boseman first and foremost, and then lay the groundwork to go, okay, well,
How do you think they'll write his character out?
I don't know. It's going to be a hard one, man, because there's going to be so much pressure on them to do it right. So, and I think the problem with that is so many people are going to want the film just to be a tribute to Boseman, and if they try and brush past it too much. So I'm smack down in the middle on it, so I'm giving this a 3 because I think they've got a really unenviable task in trying to create something that's going to please everyone and be a great film in its own right. Yeah,
it's difficult. I'm 4-5 with it around there.
You can't give it 45.
No, I'm going to give it a 4. I'm with you on your sentiment.
It's going to be very hard to do right.
But then again, Black Panther was it's fantastic. So aside from the CGI fight at the end, that's pretty pants.
Yeah. So what's your final rating on Wakanda Forever?
4.
That's a 4. Okay. So next up, and I don't think this will be on your list ever, David, is Clerks 3.
You would be correct.
Yeah. This is my last best hope for a really good Kevin Smith film. And, I mean, as I said, I've mentioned on the pod before how Clerks was one of my sort of inspirational films when I get me to go to college and do film, and just Kevin Smith's story of being, the guy who worked in a convenience store. But he's gone back to the well so many times of his characters over the last couple of years. I mean, I love Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, but Jay and Silent Bob reboot is absolutely terrible. He has gone off and tried to do some like horror films, like he did. It's the film where the guy gets turned into a walrus, and Red State was interesting, but I don't know. He feels like he's more at home. I mean, he's been directing quite a lot of DC TV recently, so. The problem with Kevin Smith is he was a brilliant writer, but as a director, he just doesn't have that visual style for the superhero stuff. He doesn't have that kind of. He's even said himself when you've listened to some of his interviews about working on these DC shows, and he's like, he goes, they're like an oil machine. I just come in and say, that's cool, yeah, do that, and everyone just keeps on doing what they're doing. He almost kind of said the director's role, and it was like
easy money,
pretty much, yeah. He's kind of almost like saying like the director's role is kind of like one of the least important on those shows because they're just this machine that keeps churning. But Clerks 2, which he did, I think it was about a decade after Clerks 1, was really good again. It was like a return to form. And like in the first Clerks, the guys are working at a convenience store and bitching and hating it. The second one, they're working at a fast food restaurant and bitching and hating it. And then at the end of Clerks 2...
Where are they going to be at?
Well,
Where are they going to be?
No, they're back at the convenience store because at the end of Clerks 2, they buy the convenience store and now it's theirs. They own it. So they're their own bosses of it. And it starts off with, and from what I've read about the basics of it, is that the main character in it has just had a heart attack. And it's about him, like... And Smith can do drama really well. Like, Chasing Amy is still probably his best film. And even Jersey Girl, which got slated at the time, which was the Affleck and Jennifer Lopez one when they were together the first time round, and she dies in childbirth and he has to raise her daughter. Well, it's a really good film, but everyone hated it because it was Affleck and Lopez at the time. And that's all they were reading about in the tabloids, so that kind of sank that film. And it's based on Smith's own life, right? He had a heart attack and almost died a couple of years ago. I think because it's so intensely personal to Smith, the story he's trying to tell, it gives me hope that this could be a great way of kind of rounding out those films and giving it like a proper ending. So yeah, I'm quietly confident this is going to be the best thing he's done in years. Hopefully. Although his last film was absolute dog shit terrible, and I've never watched it again.
So where you at then with your excitement levels?
I'm on a 4.
Okay, I'm on a 1.
Yeah.
Simply because I've never cared for Clerks and
you've never watched it.
And I've never watched it. Yeah. But I'm on a 1 then.
Right. So David, we come to the last film on the list for our 2022 preview.
Bloody hell. Nearly 2 hours in.
And it is long delayed. Long, maybe awaited by some. It's the man. It is Jim Cameron. And it's Avatar 2, David. If we believe it's still coming even out this year.
Yeah. I really don't know what to think about this film because Avatar, whilst it made a shit fucking ton of money, it was number 1
made
for
all
a
the
long
money.
time. It made all the money, yeah. It's a huge success, and it was groundbreaking at the time for some of its special effects and its camera work, everything. Yeah. With this one, is it going to be as groundbreaking? And if you take away that
Water Smurfs, it's Waterworld with Smurfs. I mean,
I don't know. Yeah, so this one's going to be really cool. I think you need to kind of see more to get yourself back into that, because why was Avatar so big at the time? Was it just like, was it James Cameron? Was it the technology? Yeah,
Avatar was a success because of the sheer technical scale of it. It was the film that relaunched 3D in cinemas, and that was enough to get people in. But objectively looking at it, it's like a Cameron greatest hits film. We got an angry army guy who's a villain. Right, let's put him in a robot suit from Alien. Let's have some aliens in it. And the story is just Dances with Wolves. It really is. None of the actors really stand out. Stephen Lang's bad guy is just generic bad army guy. And Sam Worthington's career has just not gone anywhere from this, has it?
He had the Clash on Titans.
Exactly, it's not gone anywhere. Probably out of the cast, Zoe Saldana's the only one who's gone on and done well with getting in the MCU. But, Avatar 2, right? It's in the water. Does anyone honestly care anymore? Thing is, David, you don't bet against James Cameron. And he's never had a failure.
He's never... Has he ever had it? Yeah, that's what... I'm trying to think of one.
No,
every
film he's made has absolutely smashed it at the box office. I mean, when you say that one of his lesser films is something like True Lies, that everyone loves and made a shit ton of money, and was like probably one of the most successful films of that year. What I think Avatar 2 needs to be, and I think it will try and play into the Dune comparisons, and that it's spectacle. It's something you have to see on IMAX, on the biggest screen possible, and that you're going to immerse yourself in this amazing looking world. And the hope's got to be that will be what gets people in the cinemas to see this. But, I mean, I think this is the biggest gamble of Cameron's career. He's spent almost, a decade now working on it? It seems that long, doesn't it? And he's got all these sequels planned.
He's got
all these sequels planned. What if this one comes out and no one gives a fuck? I mean, I don't really care at the minute. I will have to be sold on this. I will have to see the trailers and go, yeah, I'm probably going to go and see that because it looks amazing. And he is the technical guy. He knows how to, Terminator 2 pushed forward CGI at the time. The Abyss pushed forward CGI when it came out. Titanic, the technical scale of Titanic and the filming was amazing.
Yeah.
So this is going to be that as well. But has he got a story? Has he got the actors that can convey a performance?
Yeah, I want to see what it is that he's going to do. You need to see that next thing, and I'm sure it's going to have it. But you feel like it's going to sort of push the same towards what Avatar did, and that's the problem. If he was maybe a separate project that he was working on, and it took away Avatar, the name, I'd be
exactly.
more interested.
I think in a way it's kind of, if you called it Pandora something, that might get a better name. But it's studios, right? They're going to go, no, it's Avatar 2 because it's connected with Avatar. It was like with Alien Covenant was just Prometheus 2, but because Prometheus didn't make any money, it was like, nope, there's an alien in it. We're calling it Alien something. And it was just Prometheus 2 in all but name. You know, Fassbender carrying on playing the same robot character. Yeah. So I am going to go smack down the middle on this and give me a 3. Hopefully rising to a 4 when I see a trailer.
Yeah,
and then hopefully up to a 5 when I see it. Because you can't bet against Cameron, man. You can't bet against him. So you're a 3 as well at the minute.
I echo what you say.
Right, so David, that brings us to the end of the run-through. Now, we're going to quickly run through our top 10s. So, David, what is your 10th most anticipated film of 2022?
It is Doctor Strange. And the Multiverse of Madness.
I have, somewhat controversially, Clerks 3.
Oh, okay. I thought that'd be quite high on your list.
No, it's not. And at number 9, what do you have?
So my number 9 is a Canterbury Glass? ? It's an untitled David O. Russell project.
Okay.
But it's a period piece, but the cast is ridiculous. Christian Bale, Margaret Robbie, Rami Malek, Anna Taylor-Joy, Taylor Swift ? Robert De Niro.
What's the film about?
You don't know. But it's
so you put a film on your list that you know nothing about.
I'm excited. It's a period film. It's David O. Russell. And yeah, I'm really excited for it, based off the cast alone and Christian Bale and David O. Russell working together again since The Fighter. It's on IMDb. It's still called Untitled
Brilliant.
David O. Russell Project.
Well, that was a surprise, David. Not gonna lie. So my number 9 is Knives Out 2.
Okay, fair enough. My number 8, The Batman.
My number 8, Jurassic World Dominion.
Okay. I'm surprised that's not higher up as well on yours. My number, where are we at? 7? Is it? 7 is Killers of the Flower Moon, the Martin Scorsese film with Leonardo DiCaprio, FBI agent involving investigating the deaths of the Osage tribe in the United States.
But I think you made a little error there, because I don't think DiCaprio's playing the FBI agent anymore. It's Jesse Plemons.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Plemons. DiCaprio had to drop out and take a smaller role on the project because of overruns and stuff to do with that. And Jesse Plemons has stepped in to play the main detective.
Right, okay.
So I'm actually more interested now. Well, I mean, I'm just as interested because Plemons is a brilliant actor as well. So, yeah, it'd be good to see him in that. And that film was one we missed off our list as well. So you're just throwing zingers at me here, David.
Scorsese film, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Scorsese. Never. Okay, so my number 7 is Next Goal Wins. It's Tacker, man. It's one of his small films. Like I always say, his small films end up being Oscar-worthy contenders. So, and Fassbender playing a crazy German football coach. I'm there for it. It's going to be good, man. Can't wait. What's your number 6?
My number 6 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Which is
Part
again... Part 1, yeah, sorry. Again, something that we haven't mentioned today, but Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was a fucking home run, and I'm hoping this will be too. It looks like it's just taking off where it left off.
Spider-Pig.
I'm there for it, man.
Spider-Pig.
I'm there for it. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, interesting. My number 6, which I'm almost regretting now, and I think I might have needed to have changed, but I don't know why it's there. After what I said about it when we was running through the films, I'm like, why is number 6 on my list? But it's too late to change it now. It's too late to change it, David. I've put The Flash.
Okay. Well, maybe you was excited for The Flash coming up there, man. Maybe you really...
I think, yeah, no, not as, when I wrote my list, clearly I was. But no, I'm kind of changing my mind on that a bit now. Anyway, what's your number 5?
It is Nope. I need to know more about that cloud.
You just are picking loads of stuff you don't know anything about, aren't you? David O. Russell. It's a film that's got people in it I like.
I think the more I learn about something, sometimes the less I'm interested in it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Clearly. That's how stuff works.
Nope. Yeah, I'm looking forward to... Well,
I'm looking forward to Nope, but it wouldn't make my list because I don't know anything about it.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, my number 5, Mission Impossible 7.
Ah, Mission Impossible. Okay, 4, Thor Love and Thunder. Because I put it at 4, because I had to.
4 for 4. At number 4, I've got, instead of 4 at 4, I've got The Batman at 4.
Okay, fair, yeah. 3 is Jurassic World Dominion.
Yep, you love your dinosaurs. We've established that. And a bit of Jeff Goldblum. My number 3 is Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Okay, cool. Can we guess each other's number ones?
Well, we got to get number 2 first. What's
Okay,
your number 2?
okay. My number 2 is The Northman.
My number 2 is The Northman.
We agree on something. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, go on then. Can you try and guess my number 1?
Right, is your number 1 on the list?
No.
Oh, well, how am I going to guess it then?
Wow, you should know these things.
But you've already mentioned Killers of the Flowers Moon, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. What is your number 1 most anticipated film of the year, David?
Disappointment Boulevard by Ari Aster.
Ah, of course, Ari Aster.
There you go, man. I love the man. Anything he does is genius, and really looking forward to Disappointment Boulevard. Again, you need to know more about it, but anything Aster does is gold in my eyes. I love him. What
do you know about Disappointment Boulevard, if I may ask?
Well, I know it's got Joaquin Phoenix in it, and it is described as an intimate, decade-spanning portrait of one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time. And it's directed and written by Ari Aster. That is all I need.
Comedy, drama, horror, it says there, David. I don't know if Ari Aster does comedy, do you?
Well, he hasn't done it yet, but I wouldn't put it past him.
So, go on then. Guess. What's my number 1 film?
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Of course it is.
The easiest guess ever.
Yeah, and you picked 3 films on your top 10 that we didn't even discuss. So I don't even know. Don't even know, David. Right, so what we're going to start doing, I guess, then, David, a few days after this pod's gone out, and you've been hearing it, people, we are going to put our top 10 films of the year head to head. And there will be a Twitter vote every day. So you get to pick what you think is the best out of our choices. So look forward to that. Well, that's about all the time we got.
Or just what you're looking forward to as well. Let us know that.
Yeah, drop if
anything we haven't mentioned.
Anything we missed, drop us a tweet. Drop David a DM on Instagram, because then he'll have to check it, because it's looking quite dusty over there on Instagram, David.
That was tumbleweed.
On our Instagram account, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, there's so much good stuff coming out this year, and these are just the big films. I mean, looking down that list we went through, there was just generally a lot of big films. I think, like, the smaller films that we probably don't even know about, like the David O. Russell one that you mentioned, like Ari Aster's new film. I mean, there's loads of great directors with new stuff coming out that we just don't know about at the minute. So I think we may have hewed a bit on the blockbuster commercial side, but hey, you know what? That's what the big films are going to be in the cinemas this year, even whether they're any good or not. They're going to take money, and we'll probably be there for most of them, except for Morbius, and that's only if there's nothing else playing that week. Right, that's all the time we got for. I hope you enjoyed the pod. See you next time.
Bye.
We needed roads.